Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Dragonblade Arena League 6v6 edition. My name is Slevin, your play-by-play caster this evening, and I would like to welcome my co-caster and game analyst, Simply Nickish. How are we feeling today, Nick?
Oh yeah, I'm doing really well, thank you. Super excited. I think we've got some great matchups for you on some really fun maps as well, and I'm looking forward to some fun hero selections and to see some fun comps. Tonight we are in for a crazy showdown between 5 teams from some of the most skilled players, I believe, from across the kit community. So the competition will be pretty fierce, and I think they'll need to be at their best if they want to come out on top. Whether you're here to support your favorite player, learn new strats, or just enjoy the show, there's no better place right now to be. But before we dive in, how can our community members get involved in future tournaments?
Yeah, so many ways to get involved, guys. Definitely check out the website and join the Discord. Those are the two really life links. Go ahead and follow us on social media as well. But just big thing, the website, kicktournamentnetwork.com. Be sure to check it out. That's where you can find all the socials that I just mentioned, the event scoreboards, and upcoming tournaments. I want to remind everybody, KTN is a community-driven tournament organization, and we want to see players like you join us in our upcoming events. We currently host tournaments for a wide range of games, so head over to our website, check out the games we support, and make sure to vote in our Discord polls so you can play in the event that interests you. I do want to highlight that anybody is allowed to participate in our tournaments. You do not need to be a pro. There's no usual KD cap or rank cap or anything like that. So if you enjoy a game and you see a tournament coming up, go ahead, enroll, give it your best shot. Now let's get into the event tonight a little bit. So the first map in tonight's rotation is called Lijiang Tower. Now this is a control map where teams will fight to hold the center point in a King of the Hill style game mode. The first team to reach 100% on the objective will be declared the winner of that round. Second in the rotation is King's Row. Now this is a hybrid map where in the first round, teams will attempt to capture a control point and then escort a payload through up to 2 additional objectives. The team who pushes the payload the furthest will be declared the winner of that match. In the event of a 1-to-1 tie, the tiebreaker in our rotation is Suravasa. This is a flashpoint map. Teams will battle here to capture a series of control points. Each time a point is secured, another will unlock. The first team to capture 3 objectives will be declared the winner. Our teams tonight will put their skills to the test in a single elimination league where they will fight for survival and strive to take the top spot and be crowned tonight's victor. Nick, can you give us a little more information on the maps we're going to see tonight?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to start off on Lijiang Tower. There are 3 different points on Lijiang Tower, starting with Control Center. You've got Night Market and then Garden as well, if we make it there. This tends to be a very kind of brawl-heavy map. So I'd expect to see a lot of kind of Rhine, maybe a bit of Mei, some Reaper as well. But obviously, comfort plays a part in hero selection. Then we move on to King's Row for the second map, very hybrid. Again, a very kind of brawl-heavy, maybe leaning into more poke comps. As you move down the lane, it starts off quite enclosed, and then these kind of long sightline lanes will work well for poke comps and poke champs. So would expect to see, at least starting off again with some kind of Rhine, Zarya tank matchup, maybe moving into maybe some more snipers, maybe some Ashe coming out, or they might choose to do dive. But a very fun map overall with lots of different combinations that you can run. A very old map, people love it. It's tried and tested. Then moving on to Suravasa, Flashpoint, if we get to the third map. Being a Flashpoint, this definitely favors high mobility. So expect to see things like Winston, Divas, Tracers, lots of high mobility to move around these different points. Lots of kind of macro plays as well, if you know you're going to lose the rest of the point. And it's pretty and bright. So, you know, we got a nice variation on colors as well as some really interesting comps are going to come out on these maps. And hopefully we get a good variety between all 3. So I would very much like to get to Suravasa if we can. No pressure on the teams involved, but I'm just here for some good Overwatch, and I think we're going to have a good set of games.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we will.
Yeah, if you could let us know, how is this event going to be scored?
Yeah, so scoring in the Dragonblade Arena League, remember, 66 edition is based on the integrated systems of the game modes Control, Hybrid, and Flashpoint. Teams earn points through a match format where they compete in a series of 3 maps. Each map win contributes to a team's overall score. A team must score 2 points in order to be declared the winner of that matchup. Nick, are there any returning players or teams that you're looking forward to watch compete tonight, or are there any newcomers that you're rooting for, and why?
So we have a couple of returning players from previous tournaments, but just a bit, as this is like a PC only at the moment, we don't have like full returning teams. Not to call anyone out this early on, but there is one player that we're going to look out for on a Doomfist, and I will call that out when we get there, who is a notorious Doomfist player and might also be known a little bit for jumping off the map. Not entirely intentionally the whole time. But make sure you support your favorite upcoming teams. There's going to be polls in the chat as well for you to show your support for the teams you want to win. And the teams moving on to our semifinals are going to need everything they've got to face the teams that are waiting there for. And the finals as well is going to be done. We've got 4 best of 3s, I think, today, if I'm correct. We can confirm. Yeah, we've got 4 best of 3s. So plenty of Overwatch to come. As in terms of predictions, I'm not going to commit that early on, but one team I'm going to look out for is definitely the Shiggle Gitters. I'm going to play his Dirt Levy trip.
That one's gonna be risky.
Yeah, let's go SG. Who we have got coming up now.
We're jumping into our first round here. We've got the Hotties versus the Shiggle Gitters. What do you think of these team comps so far? How are they looking early on?
Yeah, so as we kind of line up here, it looks like we're locking in a Ram and Junker combo here for Shiggle. And on the Hotties, they're going to run this kind of Junker Mauga front line. The Tracer is something I expect a lot of, and we got a Sombra as well. So a lot of mobility moving around this first point. You know, there's a lot of different entrances to get through. So yeah, expect lots of poke, lots of high mobility and flashy plays.
Yeah, hopefully we get some really cool flashy plays. So looks like we're gonna get our first real contact here on point as both teams are slowly pushing in. Not a whole lot going down. We did lose Midnight Muse on Mercy for Shiggle Gitters is down, which gives the Hotties the 1-man advantage here. And it does look like Bard on Cassidy hitting some decent shots. Almost picks up an elimination there on the Sombra. Not able to get it off. Does go down instead. However, on point, it looks like the Hotties are gonna take that.
Yeah, but if you look early as well, Bard has already built up 98%, really close to that Cass ult, which that Deadeye can do a lot of work, even if it's just a bit of a zoning tool. So building that up really, really early, that might give them the advantage to hold this percentage in their favor.
Yeah, absolutely. As a former cast main, way back in the day, this was a map that I never really enjoyed playing him on, just because the ult is almost always a zoning ult. There's so much cover on this map, but building it up that quickly is huge. And this team fight is getting really fast here. We've already lost 2 on the Hotties. We got 1 DPS and 1 support down, but it's Lucio to get back pretty quick. And Bard gonna hop on point, able to fan the hammer, get an elimination. Nice stun, gets another elimination. Bard coming in clutch and gets the finish off. Well, I guess SOTG picked that one off there at the end, but the Hotties keeping it together after a couple early losses.
Yeah, Bard showing up, fanning that hammer to get those last couple of picks, and the Tracer holding on to that pulse bomb if they need it for this next. So good. It looked kind of dodgy in the beginning, right? A couple of nice pickoffs, and there's the pulse bomb. That's going to be a good stagger as well. And it's going to make it difficult for Shiggle to push in here.
Early elimination is going to really change that in the Hotties' favor. Now, all they have to do is sit back and try to hold. Looks like we got the Sombra hack going down on Moira here. And we're slowly pushing over the bridge and just kind of this poke. Hottie's doing really good at repelling it. And Moira goes down, gets caught out. Bard kind of getting around there and getting some eliminations as well. Yozbo on Tracer, just in their face, jumping into their spawn area here. Barely gets away with, I think, 13 HP there. Man, the Hotties playing it really well. Nice. Yeah, huge hop up on there and throw out that Deadeye. Gets the soldier, pull big Soli out there, man. He got eliminated early, came right back out and got it re-eliminated. That's tough.
Yeah, and we won't talk about the Mauga slightly throwing themselves off the map as we see the team fight going in now. The Tree of Life's dropped, and this is going to be all on the Junker. There we go. The anti-heal is so huge into that tree, and it gets them the first pick.
Yeah,
This is
anti-heal
so good.
on the tree, massive. I mean, just completely negating that whole ult basically, and giving a huge advantage as they push in. However, the Hotties, man, they are just holding strong. No matter what Shiggle throws at them right now, the Hotties have a response, and they are playing really well as a team. Great death ball, great way to stagger and cover each other's tracks. And I think that this is going to be the end of that first round here as the Hotties hold down that final push.
Yeah, I think one of the big plays to point out here, we talked a little bit about Bard, and obviously this Cass is a very comfort pick in general for a lot of people. I play a lot of Cass as well. But let's talk about this Junker Queen. I mean, Saudi on this Junker Queen just went crazy and was kind of untouched. I think the supporters are doing a great job of keeping her up as well, but just making it so difficult for that Sombra to kind of get any value by the frontline pressure. And along with this Mauga as well, just standing tall, it made it really difficult to push into that point for them. And that's why we see the switch ups, I think. You know, we see them go off of that to the cast themselves. They feel like they need a bit more damage to get through this front line.
Yeah, get more pinpoint damage on there. Get those, you know, get them weak, get them down, and then let the team kind of collapse on them when they can and finish them off. Try to build some momentum going that way. I mean, a good Junker Queen is an absolute menace to play against, so we'll see how they adapt to this first big team fight coming in. And we've got an elimination down for the Hotties. They're going to be down a man pushing in. Shiggle loses one as well, but the Hotties are on their heels here. Ooh. Everybody's going down on the Hotties. Shiggle pushing in. They came to play on this second point.
Yeah, I love the Mercy Res attempt, honestly. You kind of got to go for it. But yeah, I think some really nice adaptation. I think the Sigma particularly is a really good adaptation into what they're running into. They quite easily soak a lot of that Mauga damage as well. So they get the first point off it, and great stuff from Shiggle.
Yeah, Sigma, honestly, a great pick here, as you mentioned it. Just really slow the pace down, kind of, you know, get control of the pacing of the fight. It gives Shiggle a little bit more time to regroup and to respond to what's going on. And I think that'll be a really good play for them. They are getting a little aggressive here. Sigma, we're going to soak up all that damage and kind of throw some stuff down, trying to get Mauga just a little poke damage back and forth. The Hotties not able to push up too much here. SOTG pushing into the Sigma, has to repeal back, just going to tag out. Mauga going to go in and misses the jump there, but it looks like Shiggle...
Huge play for Bard.
Oh yeah, Bard. I didn't even see it. Massive. Like, actually, Shiggle on the heels now. Yeah, and not able to get out of there. That's tough, man. 5 eliminations. Was that what Bard got? 5? I think he got 3 with the ult and then 2 more.
Yeah, he's showing off the Mythic here as well, on fire, because Bard is on fire right now. Really, just getting these pickoffs as well immediately is so huge to stagger. Follows it up with a Deadeye, gets a couple off the back of it, and absolutely popping as we see a couple of ults ready as well. There goes Mercy. The pulse bomb's thrown out as well as they try to get back in here, but these early pickoffs are hurting Hotties a lot.
Yeah, they got to stay together and not get eliminated early so they have a full team when they actually meet in the middle there. Oh, nice shot by, I don't know how to say that, Huizar on SOTG, but Kimchi does get the res off. Big Sully coming in with the ult, gets a couple. Oh! They got lots of ults going off, and the Hotties are down and out. Shiggle coming back early with that, but they did use, I think, 5 ults to do it, so their ult economy is going to be a little rough coming into this next team fight.
Yeah, that was a bit of an ult dump. I guess when you're feeling under the gun, when you're feeling under pressure, you feel like you have to commit that to get the point back. And they do. The percentage is going in their favor. But let's see if Hotties can capitalize on that usage, because they're not even close to anything right now. So Saudi is looking close to the Junker. So that is going to be a big timing. Bard as well, closing in on that Deadeye. So I think Hotties just want to poke and prod a little bit here, but they just send it, actually.
Yeah, Hotties no chill right now. They're going full in, pedal to the metal here, and they are just pushing in really hard, and it's paying off for them. We're in a pretty even team fight. We both lost 3 eliminations on each side right now. Hotties, I think, have the advantage. This Mercy doing work with SOTG, keeping them in the game, and Sigma getting down and out. That's going to be it for Shiggle on this point as the Hotties come back in with a nice response, but it is overtime. So we are going to... Shiggle has to figure out what they're going to do here, and that was a big stagger right there on Cage. That's going to be tough for them to regroup.
Yeah, a little bit of a weird timing on the Lucio ult there, though. They weren't really under pressure, so maybe a little bit trigger happy on that one, but they still have quite a bit to play with as they come in here for what might be close to the final fight. We've got a Pulse Bomb, we've got another Deadeye, and we have a Sigma as well as Shiggle closing in on those all-important ult-timers for this fight.
Yeah, we're gonna have some big ults. I mean, Zenyatta's almost got his up. Heroes R's almost got another Deadeye. We can have a Deadeye cancel battle here, and it looks like the team fight is starting off. There goes the Zenyatta ult as we push in. Cage goes down with the Pulse Bomb. Yorsbo getting a couple eliminations there, and then Shiggle just fighting right back. Yorsbo gets 3 eliminations before they go down. That's huge, getting huge out of a DPS there coming in. And although the Hotties all are on the ropes, they have lost everybody's just Bard holding it down. Can he do it?
No way, 1v1.
Gotta contest. He gets it with the pin, the hammer, but he goes down by Cage. Overtime. Oh man, Shiggle gonna pop on.
Oh, it's so close though. Nearly just one. And then the Moira comes in, gets well, one with that ult, but it might be enough in this OT. There's no way the Ramot's dropped. Tracer gets 2 though, goes down eventually. Oh, this is all still to play for.
Oh, the Mercy goes down. Yeah, it looks like Shiggle might have this. Bard held back for quite a while, gave his team a chance to respond. Unfortunately, just 2 a little bit staggered getting in there, and Shiggle takes this second round.
Oh yeah, it was such a nice attempt though. I love seeing those 1v1s sometimes, you know, when everyone's been traded out, everyone's dead, and it comes down to one player. And Bard showing up with those, just playing around that pillar a little bit, but really nicely done from Shiggle to come back in that. You know, that definitely could have gone either way.
Yeah, that was about as close as it gets there. And I mean, a 1v1 with the Zenyatta is always tough. Zenyatta is a damage monster, especially at that range where the projectile doesn't really matter. It's basically a hit scan at that point. So that's a tough fight. That's a scary fight. I never like fighting against Zenyatta's that close.
Yeah, and I think this is where comfort comes into play, and I think we're going to see this a lot throughout the tournament today. You know, being on comfort, whether the hero is meta or not, I think is super important, especially when you're under pressure like this. You know, so you can see Bard. You know, this is clearly a comfort pick for them, but let's also don't count out the Tracer here for Hotties as well. They have been putting in some crazy work. As we see some early picks already, and that's straight. I think that just straight wins the fight. 3 pickoffs.
Yeah, looks like he got 3 picks. Shiggle is controlling the point here pretty good, though. The Hotties got some early picks, but not really pushing in and doing much on the point. No percentage gained yet, and here is the fight on point as we roll in. And the Hotties with a nice response here. Maga really slaying it out with those double miniguns here. Shiggle goes down, and I think the Hotties do end up capturing the point here. The tough little fight for Shiggle. They kind of got separated out. A couple early picks on them, gave them a disadvantage to hold that point in that first team fight.
Yeah, and I like the switch to the Mei, actually. I was expecting to see quite a bit of Mei today, especially on these kind of very close control points. Mei is going to be a monster. And is that a double boop off from Luqueen? Oh, not the Lucio boops already. First series in. And there's the celebration. Crazy work from Luqueen.
Yeah, you love to see. You know, like, good Lucio boops go hard, right? It's always a good time. And on a map like this, where especially if you're trying to split up and both get on the point from 2 different angles there, that Lucio boop just puts an immediate halt on it. Shiggle has recovered though, and they are pushing in right through the main corridor here. Not much going on either side, just a lot of poke, a lot of damage going out. We've got some criticals here, and it does look like we got our first few eliminations. Shiggle on their heels again. Lucio drops the base and gives the Hotties a much needed shield boost there as they are able to fend off Shiggle on this next team fight.
And not to call them out again, but there goes Rain once again off the side of the map. As we see, Hotties do take that fight again. A lot of commitment, a lot of ult commitment to do that, as we see Shiggle working up towards theirs. They do have Zen. They're about to get Ram, and this Ram ult could be big. There goes the Tranquility. Gets them onto the point, but Luqueen again gets another boop off. And these just early pickoffs in these fights are causing absolute chaos for Shiggle to deal with.
It's making it very, very tough for them to get in. I mean, huge Mei wall there by Bard. They basically cut off half the team, and then Bard also ulted on point, so anybody that did make it on point had to bail as well, just creating a whole bunch of chaos in Shiggle's backline and not allowing them to really death ball up and get much done here. We've got a lot poke going on. The Mei walls are huge and blocking off those points right now. But the Hotties look like they have a pretty solid hold on this, and they are. The Hotties are going to take it, and that gives Hotties the match win. Or no, sorry, ground.
I actually thought they were gonna get themselves in there. They were just a touch too late on that ram entrance, but a good fight. We got to see all three. Definitely some big moments from the DPS from both sides. Standout for me, I think we definitely have to call out Bard here on the Cassidy.
Yeah.
Then switch into the May, as well as Saudi as well on this Junker. I think played a hell of a game.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was good all around. We had a lot of good answers, a lot of good back and forth, especially that second point. I mean, it changed every team fight. It would change team basically. So a lot of good poking. The Tracer on the Hotties getting out there in the back line. I could never pull off Tracer. I don't know what it was. It just wasn't for me. So hard to play. So I always respect a really annoying Tracer who's picking up some good eliminations. Bard, absolutely insane. Probably my favorite play on that was the one that I almost completely missed until you called it out, was that huge Deadeye on that second point, you know, on Lijiang Tower. Playing a Cassidy and getting big eliminations on your ults can be really tough because there's a lot of cover on that map.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm 100% with you on the Tracer. I think it's just, I have a terrible sense of direction. So whenever I'm dashing through, I never know where I am by the end of it. But these players make it look easy. So great first map to see. Could have gone either way for sure, and that's what we want, right? We want to fight. We don't want a one-sided stomp. So, yeah, that was great.
Yeah, it was fun to watch all the way around. Next map is gonna be our King's Row. Gonna be a little bit longer map, a little bit longer lanes. What kind of comps do you think we're gonna be seeing in this?
King's Row. I love King's Row. This is a fan favorite. It's a very staple map for Overwatch. So definitely, if we're kind of going by comfort by what we've already seen from them, I definitely expect more brawly. They're probably going to stick with these kind of heavy frontline. You know, we talked about Rhine. I would love to see a Rhine Junker combo. Saudi showing up on that Junker. I'd love to see them stick with that. The first point is always a very close. It's always a bit of a brawly fight to try and take that first point. And then after that, I expect to see some switches, some more, as we talked about in the beginning, some more long range. Things like Ashe and stuff can work amazingly through those long lanes. So I expect to see some switches through that.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely some very brawl heavy comps to start with.
Yeah, the first point King's Row is always the toughest because you got to get through that little tiny gate, or you got to jump over that little tiny gate. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Winston or something come out and just there that first point, just to create a little chaos on the defending team and just get them to spread out a little bit, give your team a chance to make it through that gate. That is probably one of the hardest points to really get through on this map. And I mean, really there's a lot of choke points on King's Row, but once you get through that first real point, you have a lot more lanes to kind of do some flanks and some maneuverability there. So I think we're going to get probably a little bit more mobility, at least out of that first one. But you know,
could definitely pull out like a Diva, for example, and kind of play this like pull apart strat. So you have your front line running in the front side, and then you've got this like Diva Winston kind of trying to pull that back line away from the point, you know, play this kind of distraction to then allow the rest of your team to kind of walk it in, right?
Yeah, absolutely. There's me. I mean, really anybody's game at this point. Still, the Hotties and Shiggle both played. It wasn't a dominant performance on one team or the other in that first map there. So still anybody's game. If the Hotties take this one, they are going to take the match. So Shiggle does have to kind of show up and show out here and see what they can do. It looks like our first picks are coming in, and the Hotties sticking with a pretty similar lineup to what they had on the last map, except for Bard is going to try his hand at Reaper.
Yeah, I think Reaper is super good here, actually. It's a really good pick, really good identification as well, because, you know, like we talked about, there is a lot of these very small, close corridors, right? There's a lot of high ground as well for them to play around and drop down on people using that pick. So I think particularly, you know, if you're going to run this very brawl kind of style, I think Reaper is a great pick here. And on the other side, you know, they're going to try this Hanzo, try and get some early picks, maybe on the backside using this very high damage Hanzo, which might allow them to walk in. And the Orisa is cool as well. I quite like the Orisa.
Yeah, Orisa's just I mean, literally, she's a tank. She's a tank, but she's also like literally a tank, right? In terms of kind of what she does, just kind of stationary and shoots, and that double shield, kind of a hybrid double shield here. See if the Shiggle can get anything going on as they push into this here. It looks like the Hotties already have good answers though, as Big Sully, I believe, went down for Shiggle and got the spawn advantage there, but not really getting much going on through that gate. They got to get a good pick here against the Hotties if Shiggle really wants to push in past this statue.
Yeah, they've got to either kind of maneuver themselves round the statue, because they're kind of getting held at this front side. And there we see the kind of overwhelming damage of this Reaper in close quarters, you know, with this Junker. It makes it so hard to get through this first bit. So I would like to see a bit of team rotation here to try and maneuver around the side and pull them apart a little bit, as we see Bard again just going crazy on this Reaper.
Yeah, Bard doing, I mean, Bard can play it all apparently. Huge plays on everybody, able to get in there and just do whatever he wants. It looks like Shiggle is pushing out a little bit. You got a Hanzo ult coming out to zone a little bit, doesn't get any eliminations from it. However, Kimchi on Mercy for the Hotties, we haven't really talked about much, but she's doing a great job of keeping everybody alive and damage boosting when necessary. Does lose a few there to some ults. It looks like Shiggle able to break through. Mercy tries to go for the res, not able to get it, but you had to do it. Had to get that last ditch in there. Bard gonna zone out. Not going to be able to do much on point here. Shiggle is going to take the first point.
Yeah, and this is what we brought up, right? This Hanzo, we talked about these, you know, this is one thing that Hanzo's so good at, is just getting these pickoffs and then snowballing the fight off the back of it, right? They build up that ult early, they throw it on the point, they split them up, and that allows them to then get these headshot pickoffs, as we're seeing again. And this staggering, using the Sonic arrow as well to do it. I mean, crazy work. So this is a cool pick. I think it's going to work out really well for them. It gets them the first point in 4 minutes on the clock. Plenty of time to work with.
Plenty of time and plenty of long angles here for Hanzo to work into. We'll see how that plays out as we move on and see if the Hotties can have a real answer for it. But I think that, like you said, Hanzo's going to be a very clutch pick for Shiggle, building some momentum going forward. And it looks like we are going to get a little bit of a team fight, poke, corner to corner. Nobody really feeling the dead space, so they are getting some free range here. We've got a ult behind, a couple ults from the Hotties come out. Bard gets an elimination, and it looks like he just Robo elimination as well. They both paid the price for it, unfortunately, which is going to give Shiggle the advantage in pushing forward. I don't know that the Hotties are going to be able to stop them until they get to this around this next corner.
Oh, I love the attempt so much, though. That was a really cool positioning to try and pop the Soldier ult for Robo, for example. You know, getting that first pick, and the speed at which Shiggle turned on that Reaper for Bard was really fast, and that's what won them the fight. Working as a team to turn and deal with that was really, really well done. And this is why we see the switch to the Freya, who gets a pick off on the Bastion immediately. We see a lot of hot swapping here to try and deal. The Bastion ult going out as well, trying to get that pick. But this Freya, for any of you that have been playing against this hero, is dangerous. And it's very difficult to deal with in the right hands. So we've seen Bard be pretty proficient. Let's see if they can keep it up on this pick.
Yeah, lots of mobility on Freya and lots of longer range damage than the Reaper, but the Shiggle doesn't care. They're going to push right in there on the back of Big Sully and get a few eliminations, put the Hotties back in the spawn. They're going to allow a lot of distance to be gained here on the cart. We got kind of a solo ult on the Freya in the back. You know, I don't hate it. I can't say that I hate it. But it does look like the Hotties are going to be able to get back quick enough to stop the cart in kind of the mid-ramp area, but Shiggle has the momentum and they are taking advantage of it.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the pressure that Freya is putting out here, but let's also talk about this Bastion switch. Sully, like, this is working out so well for them. As long as they can keep Sully up, they can do such a good job of working through this beefy front line. And I think that's why we see the Winton switch as well. But immediately goes down.
Oh man, yeah, the Winston ate the dragon. Unfortunately, that is tough. We've got a few more eliminations here. Midnight Muse getting the res on the tank, keeping Shiggle in the fight here. Big Sully on Bastion has been a great switch. He's been racking up eliminations, especially getting damage buffed by Mercy there. Huge plays by everybody. Shiggle really kind of holding it together. They've got a long run back from spawn here, so they don't want to get too eliminated. They do have to go back on their heels and retreat a little bit. Tactical retreat is what we call this. We don't want to stagger too much. Give them that next team fight really quickly.
Yeah, really nice team retreat, though. They work together to keep each other up, and I mean, you called them out before, but you called it out for Kimchi, I think you called, but Midnight on this Mercy as well. Like, they are putting in so much work, and their positioning is really solid to keep their team up and not get themselves picked off. So doing a really good job of keeping their teams in this fight.
Yeah, keeping them in the fight, keeping them healed, and then keeping them damage boosted when they need. You see that damage boost going on Bastion as he leaves turret mode, though. And it looks like we've got an
Ascending it.
Yeah, we're gonna get in deep here as we are pushing in. Lots of damage going out, lots of spread going out. The cart is inching forward as the Hotties had to pretty much abandon the site. Mercy gets the res off on SOTG somehow, right in the thick of it all.
How do you get that res off? That is absurd. And also that damage from Freya as well. Bard just like launches themselves in. And this hero is quite something. As you see the Junker going out, getting that anti, nearly worked, but the Suzu was there. Good timing on that Suzu to keep them up.
Yeah, Suzu timing is really clutch, especially with some of the nurses they've done to that over the last, I guess it's been a couple of years at this point that they've been trying to balance that ability and figure it out. Always nice to see a huge Suzu that keeps you in the game here. The Hotties, though, putting up a nice last line of defense here. We've got a couple more ults going off. We got the Bastion ult. Let's see if he's able to get anything with it. Soli has been picking up a limbs pretty quickly. Not able to get, does a little bit of damage, I think, with it, but gives Shiggle enough room to kind of push in and close in on the point. A nice dragon comes across. Oh, picks up 3 eliminations on it. Massive dragon by Huazar, and then able to take out Kimchi before the res goes off. This might be it for the Hotties on this point.
Winning.
Team kill.
Game winning ultimate there. Oh my word. They were being held out really well. So massive credit to burn as much time off there, but woof. Zar with that long lane Hanzo ult to finish it off. Great work.
Yeah. I mean, the Hanzo ults, I feel like in Overwatch 1, we saw a lot of Hanzo ults and they would get a lot of eliminations. And then in Overwatch 2, I just don't feel like you see a lot of big Hanzo ults anymore. There are a lot of zoning ults. People are kind of aware of it. They know it's coming. It's kind of a slow moving ult. So when you see those multiple elimination Hanzo ults, especially clutch round winning ones like that, absolutely massive. Moving on from into this next round, though, we do have a couple hero bans that we want to point out. The Hotties did choose to ban Roadhog, so you will not see a Roadhog. And then Shiggle, I guess they got tired of Bard on that first map on Lijiang Tower, so they went ahead and banned Cassidy as well.
I think Cassidy, I think Cassidy in general is a very comfort pick. Kind of gives you a lot of just what you want as a DPS. Really good damage, really good play potential. Can 1 or 2 shot at these kind of very squishy heroes. So not surprised to see that. I think it's a comfort for a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean,
but the roadie is interesting.
The roadie ban. I don't see a lot of Roadhogs that are a big menace on this map, but hey, you never know. Maybe they had something up their sleeves and the Hotties said, no, we know what you're planning and we're not going to let it happen. But I do love to see a Cassidy. I mean, I was a Cassidy main, and it kind of hurts that he's gone on this round, but that's okay. We've got some really good DPS coming out, and it doesn't look like we're gonna get too much of a team comp change here on either side, and we're just gonna run it back essentially.
Yeah, I think the Roadhog gives you that pick-off potential. We talked about these early picks being so impactful to then snowball the fight. And I think Roadhog just offers you that, right? Particularly in these tight corridors, these tight chokes. One hook and you can take over the fight. So they just took that off the board, right? As we see, they're playing quite passive here, Shiggle. Not trying to hold this front side. They're kind of playing on site, and it allows Hotties to walk in. And they're kind of relying on their Hanzo to get these picks, and they do. They absolutely do. As you see the ram fight in the house over here. As Marcus steps in and says, absolutely not. This is going to be a 2v1.
Yeah, you can't let you get all the fun there. Nice elimination there. Yurzo taking out Big Soli, but yeah, as you were saying, I mean, the Shiggle, and it's kind of working for him right now. I didn't really expect it to. Nice ult from Bard, gets a couple eliminations there, although outnumbered on point, gonna have to do something. He's behind enemy lines, see if he can get back without staggering. But yeah, Shiggle playing fairly well off of that initial choke point there, which is giving the Hotties a lot of maneuverability, a lot of room to kind of run around and stage. But so far so good for him. It's it's not a strategy I would employ, but it's working out for him.
Yeah, it was super close though. Bod nearly, they get the healing, the biotic field down. They nearly got more from that, but yeah, just outnumbered in the end. As we see a couple of big impactful ults here though. We see the Orisa, particularly if they can get themselves in a big position here, they could shut this down super fast. We've got the Moira as well, as we see the pulls go out. They do get a pick. That's a huge pick on Sully. There's the res. Forces it out. The Moira ult over the top is huge.
Yeah, that res kind of eliminated that pick, but Shiggle still in the fight here. The Hotties pushing in pretty good. They got Shiggle on their run, though. I think the Hotties are going to get on this point, and I think they're going to take it here. Yeah, Shiggle backing out, trying to stay alive, not stagger here. Nice moves by the Hotties to push them off. I mean, Shiggle was holding that pretty strong. Just great ult usage, I think, from the Hotties really gave them the advantage there.
Yeah, it was super close. So that res on Sully nearly brought them back. You know, Sully gets a couple of picks there. Couldn't quite get them over the line, but that's the value of a Mercy res, right? You think you spend so much on getting one pick off and then, you know, it's all for naught. But let's talk about, I don't want to keep going on about the same person, you know. I want to try and show other people love, but man, is Bard popping off. Yeah,
Bard
series.
I mean, this is what, the 4th hero we've seen him play, and he's been pretty well on all of them. So you know, having a dynamic player like that on your team can make a huge difference. Somebody that can adapt and really change. And this team fight going on. Looks like Euros was able to take down
Here we go.
The Hanzo. We've got the ults popping off now for the Hotties as SOTG takes down the Kiriko. Bard gets an elimination on Soli. And another elimination, both tanks down on Shiggle. The Hotties are going to have a free kind of push here. That's a cute little weapon. From Midnight Muse as she goes down in the stagger, unfortunately.
Yeah, I just want to point out Robbo as well here, the other DPS for Hotties. They've done this time and time again throughout these first 2 maps, building up this very quick pulse bomb and then using it to get that initial pick. And we saw them do it right there, and that triggers the response then for Bard to then pop sights over the top of it and for them to kind of run over the fight. So this is also hugely impactful plays from the Tracer. And Shiggle are going to have to try and figure it out. And we see the switch to the Junkrat. I think there's going to be a bit of a spam and try and get the early picks on their side.
Yeah, a decent little pulse bomb from Robo there. Unfortunately, out healed by Midnight Muse. Not able to get anybody eliminated with it. And not a whole lot going on. Oh, a couple eliminations there. 1 elimination there as Lu Queen goes down. That is going to give Shiggle the advantage here. It is a back and forth, though. Bard hits him with the Helix missiles. Orisa is down. The Hotties pushing in pretty hard. They are trapped, though. Can't really go anywhere. Oh, there it is. Midnight Muse got stuck by Maga. Unfortunately, unable to escape and goes down. The Hotties winning that team fight pretty readily. However, what did they take? 3 ults to do it. Their ult economy is going to be a little rough as Shiggle's going to have the advantage in this next fight.
Yeah, they kind of need to get themselves together here. They have the ult advantage, so there goes the Orisa. Drops it immediately, but only gets the lamp, really. So that's the advantage that they have on playing this BAP on Lu Queen. Can shut down so much of that. Sully goes in, and there we go. Off the back of it, though, the DPS come in force, and Sully showing up, getting the Tracer kill at the tail end of that as well. We've talked a lot about Hotties here, but Shiggle, they've struggled on these first couple of points, but there is huge potential in this comp to be able to full hold this.
Yeah, they've definitely made a couple good changes, I think, with, I mean, Huazar, I'm butchering that name every time. Went over to Junkrat, so we've got some good stuff going on with that. A lot more splash damage coming out. And we just got a little poke fight going on as the Hotties are kind of being held back a corner away from where they actually need to be. We'll see if they're able to push in and make something happen. We got a little fight in the corridor happening as Rain going to use that hard cover there. You love to see a tank that uses hard cover. You're trying to get some angles on them, not getting a whole lot done. Shiggle doing really well at kind of deathballing and staying together and covering each other's backs.
Yeah, I think that's what they need to do. You know, with this Tracer able to get these pickoffs, you need to kind of deathball it with this very kind of long poke that you've got between the Junkrat. We see it here. H is going, gets the tire kill. That's a big one. Gets both supports off the back of it, and that's going to be a walkover fight with the Orisa cleaning up the last as they back out. And this is what we want to see from them. There's a lot of spam that they can do through this corridor, you know, with this Junkrat Bastion. combination, as well as the Orisa, honestly. You know, one of the big advantages of the Orisa is not only just being a very meaty frontline, but can also provide a lot of unexpected damage and displacement with that spear as well.
Yeah, for sure. I wasn't sure about leading that fight. Midnight Muse popped the Zen ult there, the Tranquility. I wasn't sure about that, but I think it actually negated 2 ults for the Hotties. And so kind of a heads up play there to really just prevent that from getting steamrolled there. And I think that kept Hotties kept Shiggle in the game right there.
That's number 4 for Rain. Maybe maybe having an issue with the steering as they go off again, but Cage doing a good job of holding this corridor as well, because it's quite easy for them to maneuver through, especially with like a Tracer and getting behind them through there. So Cage doing a really good job. And Sully using that artillery.
Oh my goodness.
Triple, my God.
Big defensive
Great
effort by Sully. Hitting that, getting that extra damage, or no, sorry, getting the just support. He was out in front. Both supports were just pocketing him, just able to go to town and do what he does best.
And I called it, right? 15 seconds left on the clock. They create this really nice comp for full holding, you know, with this spam down the lane, and it's working so well for them as Sully again gets a pick off on Queen. It's going to be really hard for them to push in here. Can they get in? Saudi trying to make it in. Are they pushed back? They do get the overtime, but Sully gets the double again and a triple.
Sully coming in huge for this late game defense, not allowing the Hotties to get where they wanted to go at all, shutting them down. You know, the supports on Shiggle saw what was going on, keeping Sully alive, allowing them to make the picks that they needed to make, and big heads up plays there to keep the Hotties in this match. Shiggle, sorry.
This might be play the game here, but my word, Sully carried them on their back in that one. That Bastion switch was so smart. Did exactly what they needed, and they full held. Great work.
Yeah. I mean,
we have ourselves a series.
We have ourselves a series. We're going to map 3 here, Suravasa. And so this next map is going to be a little bit more, a little bit faster, right? A little bit different.
Yeah, I would expect, oh my word, Suravasa is going to be chaotic. I'm going to expect a lot of high mobility, definitely some switch ups in the tank options. Winston, Divas, these very kind of high mobility tanks. We're going to see Tracers again. I think Tracer is also really good on this map, and we know, I don't know if you guys are aware, Tracer is the highest win rate hero right now in general. So it's very, very strong in general, but particularly on quite an open and big map like Suravasa, it's going to be very, very key. We might see some extra mobility with things like Echo. I don't know if I don't think these guys maybe play Echo, but that could also be a little bit of a pocket pick here. And yeah, support wise, I mean, these Mercies are putting in some crazy work.
Yeah, the supports are doing fantastic. They're kind of the unsung heroes. You know, we see all the big flashy plays by the DPS getting out there and getting those picks. And I mean, obviously those are needed, but those don't happen without the supports keeping you alive, right? When Sully's in tank mode and he's right in the front line taking all the damage, he's not making those 3-4 eliminations without the support picks there. So those have been a massive support potential. And just so you guys know, the way that the bans kind of work is that since the Roadhog and Cassidy were banned last round, they cannot be banned on this round. So I think maybe we're going to see Bard return to form and get another Cassidy fight out here.
Yeah, we'll see what they've chosen to go into, but yeah, just to reiterate that point as well, let's have a shout out for all the support heroes in chat. You guys,
W's for support, boys.
Heroes. We talk a lot about, you know, the DPS and the tanks and stuff, obviously, you know, because that's a lot of what we see, the flashy plays, but it's a lot of the unseen things with supports. You know, these slow heals, particularly with heroes like we saw the Zen there. You don't see how much work that puts in to keep your players alive, but a really good support player does so much more work that you just don't notice. And we here's what we see. Shiggle moving on to that Diva as well. We talked about the high mobility. Interesting that Hotties are sticking with this. I'm assuming that this is comfort for Rain here on the Mauga and Saudi on this Junker, rather than trying to play the map specifically. You know, they're playing comfort instead. No surprise to see Sully staying on that Bastion either.
Yeah, absolutely popped off. Would be a shame to switch it off. Robo did switch off of Tracer for the first time. at least the first long-term time here. And I'm gonna hop over to Soldier. A little bit more of a death ball comp on the Hotties. Not nearly as much mobility. Shiggle went kind of half and half. They've got a little bit where they can do kind of a little bit of everything here as this first team fight gets underway. And we have our first elimination of the round. It looks like SOTG and Flying
here we go
down a one-on-one.
Oh,
Bard found the found the middle of the screen again. Oh, nice.
Such a good angle.
Oh, almost gets. Oh, nice follow-up though, able to take him down. And Bard, I think, picked up 4 eliminations there to keep the Hotties and give them that first point.
Yeah, back on comfort, and you can definitely see this as comfort for Bard. And let's just quickly point out the bans while we've got a little bit of downtime here. The Moira banned out for Shiggle, and the Orisa banned out from the Hotties. Quite interesting bans. That the Moira I can fully understand, a very mobile support that can work really well on this map. And I guess the Orisa just really annoyed them. So they decided to take it out.
We got a hero we haven't seen yet. We got Havoc coming into the game as well. Flying Fortin gonna switch over to him, and we'll see how that does for him, if that gives them the advantage or if that just ends up kind of messing with their team chemistry a little bit. Kind of a newer hero, one that I haven't seen a whole lot of playtime with, so be interesting to see how that
really strong right now with the recent changes. The hyper mobility as well with those leaps does fit a map like this. So we have been seeing a lot more Hazard play, particularly this season. So kind of cool that they're bringing this out. I like it. I think Hazard is in a really strong spot at the moment. We'll see if it pays off.
We got a couple early eliminations there for Shiggle. 3 early, 4 eliminations. Shiggle gonna steamroll on this point, it looks like. The Hotties trying to hang on to some semblance of a death ball and see if they can make something happen. The Mercy putting in work. Kimchi unable to keep SOTG alive. Sadi getting around everywhere. Goes for the res.
I love the res.
Gets eliminated. Hey, you gotta try it, you know. But worst case scenario, you die and you don't stagger, right? So, but Shiggle came in strong for that second point.
Yeah, I love this change to the Sojourn. We know how strong Sojourn is right now. Probably, arguably, one of the best DPS, maybe outside of Tracer in the game currently. Extremely good damage. So this is a cool pick, and I was hoping to see this at some point. And look to H here to put out a lot of work on that hero.
Yeah, absolutely. It could be a big change, you know, with that extra DPS coming in with Sojourn. Big Soli doesn't care. He's gonna run right in there, get down Rain. Bard gonna take down Flying Fortson as well. Kimchi gonna get the res on Rain, so the Hottie's back at full strength. Bard gonna try to ult, get some damage off, and follows it up with elimination. Able to take out 3 here because of that ult. And fanning the hammer like an absolute champ. The Mercy damage buff behind him, and giving no recourse. Does have to get away though, as Hazard coming back in on him. So.
Yeah, just no fear at all. So happy to run them down. There is a lot to work with here, though, for Shiggle. They have every single ult to play with. So this is dangerous, and that's a big pick off on Sully. They needed to kind of play with the team and come together to use those ults, as Bard is playing very aggro and very upfront, holding this percentage in their favor.
Yeah, if Bard keeps shooting like he is right now and keeps hitting the shots, it's going to be really tough for Shiggle to get anything going. Even with the 6 ult advantage they have right now. So we'll see if they don't ult dump or if they go in. We've got a couple going off already.
There it is.
It looks like it's working well for him, as the Hotties are down 4 right now. The Shiggle's 1. And SOTG gonna run off point, gonna get that Lucio speed boost. Nope, maybe gonna fight it out a little bit. Gets slept and eliminated there. And yeah, it looks like Luke Queen gonna retreat back to spawn. Shiggle coming in and claiming that point. And we've got it tied 1-1 right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of hot swapping going on, so, you know, just to try and keep up a little bit here. I love the Ana change from Midnight. I think particularly this the anti-nade is so good into Mauga, right? It's pretty much just a 1-for-1 counter into that hero, so it's going to make Rain's job incredibly difficult. The sleeps could be huge as well into these castles. You know, it's a lot easier to hit a ulting Cassidy with those sleeps, so look for Midnight here to make some big sleep plays.
Yeah, it looks like H also switching over to Symmetra here, going to use those turrets to just get some cheeky damage, I think. And I mean, once that beam gets charged, it can be a real menace to deal with too. So it looks like Hotties got to the point first, so they're going to start picking up some percentage as Shiggle trying to get through that gateway. But this is a pretty decent little choke, and the Hotties are holding it pretty well right now. We've got a bit of a zoning ult coming out of Bard. Oh, able to get a little damage and a nice little fan. He gets helped by Robo on that. Couple eliminations for the Hotties. Shiggle has to push in, and when they do, the Hotties are ready and waiting.
Yeah, just playing a little dance around there, trying to stay alive, but once again, Hotties get this initial fight going off, and it's so much damage up front to try and deal with for Shiggle. So I love this change. I was about to talk about this. I love this change to the Zarya. I think if they're putting out so much damage between this Soldier and Cassidy, use the Zarya. Let them charge it up for you. You can either bubble yourself, or if they're being sent on, bubble Sully. And I think this is going to work out for them, as we see Sully get that initial pick, already forcing out that res.
Yeah, and Shiggle did have a little bit of an ult advantage coming in, and they are going to pop. It looks like all of them as they run in, see if they can make something happen here and contest this point. The Hotties kind of pushing off of it right now as they're down 2. I think we're in a pretty even fight. Robo coming back in with their ult, though, picking up a couple eliminations, keeping Hotties in the game. This is pretty much a even fight going on. Bard, wow, gets that off. I cannot believe got that off with almost the entire team looking at him there. Hotties able to take that point.
You have absolutely no right to win that fight if you're Bard right there. Like, they had Cage just got it, like, survives on maybe 58 Kage, sorry, maybe 50 HP survives on that ram, hiding around the back of the shield, gets nearly everybody else, and then just walks in. Bard just walks in and gets 3 to finish the point. That is outrageous behavior.
Yeah, just standing on the stairs in the open, like insane. It just came in at the right time, right place, and able to keep Hotties and give them that advantage moving on to this third point. And then the Hotties are already fighting on point. Shiggle is playing off the point again a little bit. So as soon as it opens up, the Hotties are going to start ticking up the percentage here. Shiggle has to get a little more aggressive, and looks like they are here as Kage takes down SOTG, but then Kage goes down by Rain. We've got a pretty even fight, 1-to-1. Nice antis on Rain. He goes down. Still
nice sim wall there.
Yeah, still pretty even fight. Just a little bit of a death ball, a little bit of a poke here on point. Just contesting it, but nobody's really dominating one way or the other. It does, however, look like Shiggle is going to finally take it here on point. There was a lot of back and forth on that fight.
Yeah, huge plays from H on that one. Really nice sim wall to split up that point in 2. Make it really difficult for them to trade out, and then just using that sim damage to slowly pick them off one by one, and they win the fight off the back of it. So really good early macro from Hotties to get themselves on that point early. They get 43% to start with, but then Shiggle take the fight and win. But quite a few big ultimates to look at.
Yeah, and remember, for everybody watching, this is a best of 3 rounds. We got a Bard ult coming in. Oh, he picks off 2 huge eliminations and does a lot of damage to everybody else. Man, the Hottie's gonna steamroll in on this point and take it right back. Nice ult by Bard.
I mean, if you're looking at Hotties, if anyone is facing them later on, you've got to ban this Cass in at least one game. This is outrageous. And Shiggle, they do have quite a lot of ults to work with. We've got the Nano coming up for Midnight. Sully with that Bastion ult as well. Kage, this could be a really big combo. And we look to fly here with this grab. This needs to be a big grab. And there we go. It's in the middle. Nice. Bastion ult over the top. It's huge. It's massive.
Big eliminations there. And now Shiggle pushing onto the point, trying to keep the Hotties away. Kage gets a couple eliminations as well. This is literally do or die time for Shiggle. They cannot allow the Hotties to capture this third and final point, because that will give them the match. So Shiggle gonna leave it all out on the playing field here right now and give it everything they got.
Yeah, and that's a big pick. That's a big stagger on Bard as well. This is all going to come down to the last fight here. We're at 90%. They've got a touch, and they're one person down, so this is going to be a little difficult, and Kage gets that pick off initially.
And everybody's back on point. The fighting is going. Lots of poke back and forth. Overtime. It looks like, okay, it looks like the Hotties are going to kind of concede that point. Shiggle's going to take it, and now we're going to go into our last point on Suravasa Flashpoint here.
Yeah, I respect the attempt from Hotties. I think that pick off from Fly on Bard was huge to guarantee that point, and they were fighting an uphill battle from there, right? So it all comes down. Last point in the last map. There is nothing between these two teams. It could go either way.
Yeah, this has been an incredibly even fight all the way through. Both sides playing really, really well. And the elimination starts going. Bard picks up a couple eliminations again. Oh man, the Hotties are about to get that team kill, and they do. They're going to capture the point at least. Shiggle going to have plenty of time to respond though. It looks like ult economy fairly even on both sides, not heavily weighted one way or the other. So still plenty of fight left in this game.
Yeah, I think Midnight is having a difficulty getting this nano off, but they do still have it running, so that could be a huge factor in this fight, with Sully also coming up on theirs. And the Mercy, Kimchi, does have that Valkyrie as well, so ult economy in the favor of Shiggle if they can make it work for them.
Yeah, we'll see if they can. I mean, we've got double support ults coming in. Big Sully just got their ult, but the Big Sully got eliminated. That could be huge for the Hotties to keep this point. Shiggle trying to poke, trying to get something done. They're kind of spread a little bit. They're shooting from a couple different angles, couple different lanes here. Bard picking up some good hits there. Not able to finish it though. Nothing big happening so far. Shiggle kind of, I think, afraid to push in after Sully went down early there.
Yeah, this is such a huge percentage to try and come back in on, and immediately they switched up. Maybe they go down straight away, and here goes the Bastion up. This needs to be big, but the beat is already down.
Yeah, they were just ready and waiting for it. A big answer from the Hotties to Shiggle whatever they had going on, and that is going to be it as the Hotties defend that last point and take their second match to win this bracket.
Yeah, what a best of 3 series though. Could we have asked for any more to kick off this tournament? Absolutely down to the wire, right? And the very last point, the very last map. So huge plays from both teams. Honestly could have gone either way, but really well done for them pulling through on that one. And oh, there are some scary picks you've got to be careful of going into the next series.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, both sides, like you said. I mean, that was probably one of the most even overall fights, overall, 3 map rounds that I've ever casted in Overwatch. As there was a lot of just pushing back and forth. There was never one team that was dominating. They were both going really, really well, and both teams came out to play. So,
yeah, and that's what we wanted to see, right? As I said, what a better way to kick off. So,
yeah, absolutely. And so that's our quarterfinals. So with our quarterfinals coming to a close, our competitors are going to take a short break to strategize, and we will be moving into the semifinals here shortly. Nick, what do you expect to see from our competitors in the upcoming match? Is there any particular team or strategy that you're expecting to shine in the next rounds moving forward?
So just so you guys are aware, I think we will see a lot the same picks. A lot of the same kind of comfort. Expect these picks like the Cassidy. Expect these kind of tank comforts like Junker. We saw Junker like in, I think, all 3 games actually. So expect a lot of comfort for the individual players rather than maybe meta picks. I think is the best way to look at this. Because I think it's going to come down to what they feel like playing and what they're most comfortable with in this kind of situation. We've already seen a mix of different kind of brawl comps as well as some dive, so it's going to come down to that. But as we get into this, don't forget to vote in the poll to support whichever team you want to win as we move on to our semifinals. And yeah, they're gonna have to pull this out. I think. Again, I don't know if I want to commit to a prediction here. So
it's still a lot to be seen, I think, before we really hammer down on it. Maybe we'll give you a good finals prediction going on, but right now, I mean, there's still a lot up in the air, and if the rest of the matches go like that first one did, it's literally anybody's ball game.
Yeah, I would love to see, talking about Pixel, I'd love to see some more Hazard. I think Hazard actually has such good value and could put in so much work, so I'd love to see more of Hazard. I would also like to see I mean, Echo as well.
Hazard, Echo, yeah, there's a few heroes that we haven't seen much going on, but we're gonna break it down a little bit for you guys. So everybody that's just joining us during our short break here, welcome to the Dragonblade Arena League 6v6 edition. My name is Slevin. I am your play-by-play caster this evening, and in the booth with me today we have our co-caster and game analyst, Simply Nickish. If you're new here, the Dragonblade Arena League 6v6 edition is a single elimination league where our teams tonight are going to battle across 3 pre-selected maps. Before each round begins, every team will also choose one hero to ban from play. And with tonight's qualifier on the line, these teams aren't just fighting for bragging rights, they're chasing the chance to compete at DreamHack Atlanta this October for a cash prize. Now, before we really jump into the semifinals here, let's quickly recap the map pool and the scoring system for tonight's tournament. The first map in tonight's rotation is going to be Lijiang Tower. Now, this is a control map where teams will fight to hold the center point in a King of the Hill style game mode. The first team to reach 100% on the objective will be declared the winner of that round. Second in the rotation is King's Row. Now, this is a hybrid map where in the first round, teams will attempt to capture a control point and then escort a payload through up to 2 additional objectives. The team who pushes the payload the furthest will be declared the winner of that match. In the event of a 1-1 tie, the tiebreaker in our rotation is Suravasa. Now, this is a flashpoint map where teams will battle to capture a series of control points. Each time a point is secured, another will unlock. The first team to capture 3 objectives will be declared the winner. Nick, can you explain to our new viewers how scoring is working tonight in the Dragonblade Arena League 6v6 edition?
Yeah, so it's done by map, not by the individual points within the game itself. So it's whoever wins the map overall. They score 1 point for the total map win, not done by the individual points. So before we start setting up the next match, I'd like to just take a quick second to thank our incredible staff here at KTN. There's a lot of people behind the scenes here, not just our pretty faces. And these tournaments would not be possible at all without them. So to all of the staff, to all the ambassadors, the producers, and everyone behind the scenes, and all of the KTN partners, thank you so much. We definitely could not do this without you. And if you are interested in competing in any of our future tournaments or leagues, you can head on over to the website, which is kicktournamentnetwork.com, where you can find all of the socials, the event scoreboard, KTN merch, and upcoming tournaments. And just to reiterate, there is no skill requirement if you do want to join. You can be any skill level if you want to participate. So while we give our competitors time to set up for the next round, we're going to take a quick break so we can rest our voices just a little and have a drink. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
At KTN, our vision goes beyond tournaments. It's about creating immersive, unforgettable moments.
Here comes the Jeff. Huge! With the
6 people with the Jeff.
So, we launched on Kick, found top-tier competitors, and made valuable memories along the way.
In America, I've been told by production that he has fallen off the map in every tournament that he has been a part of.
We created an innovative website that streamlines tournament administration and created a platform that elevates community-run events. With the help of the community, we grew this organization into something we can be proud of and can be recognized by every platform as the best community tournament network. Tournaments are a unique experience filled with stress, conflict, and above all, excitement. So we at KTN created the next stage of community tournaments, a place where anyone can participate, where we feature the best of our competitors, and through events designed to show off your skills in a PvP environment. Through countless hours of effort and lateral thinking, we have elevated our organization to be the highest quality community tournament network. We took a bit of time, but we ironed out all the kinks and refined this into the well-produced experience that it is now. He's coming up, he's going for it. He lays out the shatter, he's able to pick up a couple. Double fire strike, picks up 3 eliminations by himself, essentially. Huge play by Modern DARPA, pushing them back.
Trying to push, but same cuts. Oh! Magneto! Coming in with the triple!
It's only one way in from that angle, so to get.
Oh my god! What? Was that 6? 6 piece?
There's no risks. too big for them. And some more great shots. NZM's able to take down as well. And got both of them down. That is a team wipe. NZM picking up his 14th elimination.
The Emma, the Invincible Woman, they saved it.
Whoa! Florms! Florms!
Welcome back to the Dragonblade Arena League 6v6 edition. My name is Slevin, your play-by-play caster this evening, and in the booth with me today is my co-caster and game analyst, Simply Nickish. Our competitors are ready to launch into the semifinals, so let's get right into the action. Nick, what map are we going to?
We are starting on Lijiang. So this is going to have 3 different points. Lijiang Tower. This is a control map, like we spoke about. We've got Control Center, Night Market, and Garden, as well, the 3 different iterations of this map. We talked about this before. I would expect kind of a very brawly comp coming into this. We've obviously seen Hotties play, so we know what to expect of them. Let's quickly just point out the bans here before we get into this, as we've got a bit of time. The Roadie ban is super interesting from Hotties. You know, we saw that from them as well. I think they just really hate this hero. And then from SOTG, the Sim ban. I think Sim is exceptionally strong right now, particularly on on Lijiang Tower, on these control points. Those turrets can just cause absolute mayhem. And let's talk about the Doomfist. This is a very interesting duo with the ball and the Doomfist combo.
Yeah, a lot of mobility on the tanks here. We'll see how that works out for them coming into this, as we got a little Hammond versus Junker Queen 1v1 here. Oh my gosh, Motif already getting a couple eliminations. We already got our first boop. Rain goes down.
We didn't have time to even get into this properly. They just rolled it. A couple of very clean kills from C3 as well on this Sojourn. We talked about how good Sojourn is right now, as well as the Tracer kind of backing them up. But yeah, this ball is super, super good. I think especially with the new changes as well. This is such an annoying map to try and deal with the ball on.
Yeah, I mean, ball's annoying, I think, on every map that I've ever played against them. Probably one of my least favorite to play against, just in terms of just pure annoyance. My God, SOTG just absolutely having an answer for anything the Hotties are throwing at them. Every team fight right now, heavily one-sided. Wow.
Oh, C3 is an absolute monster on this Sojourn. Okay. I was not aware of your games, so I apologize. This is crazy work. So yeah, very dominant start here for SOTG. And coming off the back of that win, the Hotties are definitely feeling warmed up, but are gonna have to try and find an answer here.
And they do get an elimination on the Doomfist, but you got Trippy Creon and Huntsman for SOTG picking up a few eliminations as well, keeping the Hotties on their heels and not able to get any momentum going. Man, SOTG just shutting down, closing the door, and locking it.
Oh, there's so much mobility here that they're kind of tripping Hotties up. They're not really sure where they can attack them. They're even diving them in the spawn and just completely rallying them. This is a really difficult situation to try and read for them. You know, you've got this ball flying at you, you're getting booped off, and that is a huge double kill from Huntsman on this pick.
Yeah, it took down Lucio and Bard, and then we got Robo goes down, Rain goes down, SOTG goes down. They are trying to make changes. They are trying to make some things happen, but SOTG, a lot of mobility, and you can tell that they are very comfortable on these character picks.
Yeah, and they also just look super comfortable on this map. I mean, look at where they are right now. There is absolutely no room for them to even get out of their spawn. As they're willing to expend ults as well to keep them there. A nice little attempt at the back door. It was super, super close, but they read it and they get back in time. And here comes the ball rollout. They don't even need it. That is about as much of a one-sided stomp as you're going to see from SOTG there. Not a lot of analysis you can do about that one.
Yeah, SOTG clearly came to play. The Hotties coming right off of that win on the first match of the day there, and then really getting into some fierce competition. We'll see how they respond going on to the second point. But that was a tough fight.
Yeah, I think when you're playing into kind of like hyper mobility like this, it feels really oppressive to try and figure out what to do. And you can try and match it, but they're looking so clean so far, SOTG. So I think that you just kind of have to play what you're comfortable with and hope that you can come together. And I think these initial pickoffs, try and play for maybe one pickoff and try and snowball off the back of that to roll over SOTG. You know, I think that's what they've got to look at doing here.
Yep.
All Light does that and throws himself off the map. There's the pickoff. Self-inflicted. We love that.
Would have given him a little bit of an advantage here going into this first team fight. We did see a couple changes for the Hotties as Bard off of Cassidy and onto Farah, and also Rain onto Winston here. So a little bit more mobility coming out of the Hotties, hoping that they can find something that SOTG doesn't have an answer for. However, that first team fight doesn't go super well. Even after Motive threw himself off the map, the Hotties still kind of struggling to pull it all together.
Yeah, maybe that was a bit of a salute to Benji there. I'm calling it anyone out. But yeah, Rain does get a nice pick off on the Sojourn, which was big, but then just couldn't clean up afterwards. And the switch to the Widow is dangerous. I think we're going to look to Sombra here. Robo needs to identify this and try and get onto this Widow and try and get behind them. But there's just no letting up. They are absolutely rolling forward as Motif does go down. So they do get one pick off, but I mean, this is a tough position to be in.
Not going to be enough to let him really push in here. Looks like Luke Queen off of the Lucio and onto Brigida, trying to get a little more, I think, just shield, a little more protection to defend from the snipe and the Junkrat damage that's coming in. But if they can't have an answer for these tanks, I mean, it's going to be really hard fight. I mean, this is an uphill battle as much as we've ever seen.
Yeah, and it's just, look at this ball. It's just in their face, moving everybody off and just making it so difficult. And I think this is one thing that Ball does so well. And my God, what a triple! It's so much pressure that there's too many problems. There's just too many things to deal with for them.
Yeah, there's a lot of areas to focus, right? There's just too much. It's hard to. A lot of times the team gets together and you can just focus down. Okay, we got this guy. Now we got this guy. But SOTG just playing to chaos, really, just creating so much chaos. Keeping the Hotties distracted with a whole bunch of different things to try to focus in on so that they can't really ever accomplish any one major goal. And it's working out really well for them with this super mobility picks that they have on SOTG.
It's also just a really good identification of how their comp's going to work. You've got this spam from the Junkrat in the backside and this Widow, and they just drop the beats again right in their spawn. I mean, this is difficult to watch. But it's it's a great identification of how a Ball is going to play. That front side pressure makes it so difficult to even get past him, and then you've got to try and get onto a Widow who's then just pummeling you along with his Junkrat from range. So wow, that was a very fast stomp from SOTG, and wow, they look insanely good.
Yeah, if they can keep that up through the whole tournament here, it's going to be tough to top that performance, to be honest. The Hotties, we saw them play that first match of the other night, and they were out there doing it and putting in a lot of work, making a lot of really clutch plays, and you could tell that they had good cohesion and team cohesion and everything. And then SOTG came out and literally just broke it all apart. And I think a lot of it goes to the hero picks, just a lot more, just kind of like I said, just a lot more chaos happening. Makes it hard to focus in on for the Hotties. You've got a whole bunch of individual fights happening instead of kind of a 1v1 team fight happening. But maybe that was enough of an experience for them. Maybe they know what to do now going into the second map here on Kings Row. We'll see how the Hotties can respond. What kind of hero picks would you expect them to make moving forward?
Yeah, I've been trying to rack my brain and think about what they could maybe ban to try and help them. Like, because I don't know if you want to ban Ball on Kings Row because there's so many other tanks that are going to put in so much more work. But maybe they're just feeling it and he might pull that out anyway just to be annoying. So maybe the Sojourn might be a good pick because that C3 looked insane on that Sojourn. So if I was Hotties here, I would maybe look for the Sojourn ban. And I think they maybe need to play more of like a death ball comp, like try and stick together. Don't allow them to SOTG to play this chaos strat. Try and stick together and snowball it in a kind of death ball, pushing forward. Maybe behind like a Rhine. Maybe like a Rhine Zarya, you know, bubble that Rhine, let him just charge in, try and get that initial pick and kind of go off that. And
yeah, kind of a classic 2-tank comp, you know, the Rhine Zarya. You got the extra little protection from the bubble. You got the big shield. It makes it harder for them to get those cheeky picks. We'll see how they adapt it and going onto this as their picks are coming through right now. It looks like kind of sticking with what they're used to here. You've got a little bit more mobility than we did on that last map with SOTG and Luke Queen going back to the Junker and Lucio here. Bard gonna hop onto Sojourn and try to give them an answer. Don't see the
is staying on that ball. We called it. He is choosing to stay on that wrecking ball. So maybe it's enough of an answer.
Motif is going to do the ball this time. Huntsman did the ball last time. Motif was on Doomfist, so they are going to switch it up a little bit. We'll see if Motif is as good of a ball as Huntsman was. Huntsman going to go ahead and take Mr. Roadhog for a ride, and the bans come through. We've got a Bastion ban by SOTG and a Diva ban by the Hotties. Interesting choices on both sides.
Yeah, I mean, I think Diva, you know, fills a lot the same kind of this very dive space takey role. So I completely understand why they've done that. You know, she can cause so much chaos in the same way, but having 2 ball plays is kind of a terrifying prospect. And already the picks come out immediately as tribute on this Genji. This is a pick we haven't talked about yet, but oh boy, if a good Genji is not one of the most terrifying things to try and face in this game.
Yeah, say that again. First fight, first team kill there. SOTG extremely comfortable playing in the spawn lobby of the Hotties on this defense.
Yeah, and it's such a tough kind of ask here from the Hotties to they can't even get out of their spawn area. They're being held so hard. So even these kind of flank picks like the Sombra are gonna have a really hard time just maneuvering around to try and get the pickoffs. And that's what we see here.
When you have so much mobility from a Genji, it can just chase you down and do all that damage. And yeah, SOTG just pushing in, making sure the Hotties stay in their spawn. I don't have an answer. I mean, besides trying to go double dive or something for the Hotties and just jump over everybody and create some spread in SOTG and then hope that your team comes in behind and can pick up some eliminations. This is a tough fight. I mean, SOTG really holding it down here.
Yeah, it's difficult as well. I want to be able to try and think of ways around that they could maybe try and deal with this, but they're being held so hard that I'm not sure what options they truly have, apart from to maybe play the ult economy game and just try and ult dump, you know, try and build up these ults together and then dump them all at the same time to win a team fight. As we see SOTG are kind of freely using theirs, as we see them use it now to great effect. But maybe just build up that ult economy and try and win through that.
Yeah, that seems like a good strategy at this point. SOTG not giving them a single inch. I don't think the Hotties, anybody has even made it to the point yet that maybe even through that first gate. SOTG just extremely comfortable playing together as a team, extremely comfortable on the heroes that they're picked here. And they're just waiting. I mean, they're just waiting in spawn, basically. Sombra goes in and gets the hack. The ball is ready, waiting right there for him. Light, maybe goes down, does go down. That is a big pick for the Hotties. We'll see if they can snowball that and to make something else happen. C3 gonna pop the ult though, and gonna pick up a couple or one elimination there. And it looks like SOTG actually gonna mop it up even after that first good pick by the Hotties. SOTG with the response to get that team kill.
Yeah, it looked promising getting that initial pick on the ball, but then yeah, the supporting ults come out, right? The visor for the soldier just to shut down that Moira. And I kind of would like to see them try and put something together with all of them as we see more pickoffs coming out. Bard does get that Freya ult, but again, maybe wait for Rain here to get theirs and then just try like a cage combo with Bard over the top of it for the damage, the Sombra EMP. You might be able to get a few that you can then snowball the fight off the back of.
Yeah, another team kill by SOTG there in their spawn. SOTG really controlling the pacing of this. It is a tough fight. This is not a match that I would want to play, and that is for sure right now. SOTG coming in, and they are just making this look easy. And we know the Hotties are a great team. We watched them play before, and they're doing everything they can to survive and B, try to get any eliminations here. SOTG just came to play at a different level right now.
Yeah, and that's it. That they're playing really well together. There's sometimes you get this in games like Overwatch and Rivals as well. There's just too many problems. You're trying to, you can try and counter one thing. Let's say you can try and counter the Roadhog or the ball, and then you've suddenly got to deal with a Genji that's going crazy. And it's too many things to try and manage and deal with and outpick. So a huge hold from SOTG. And this is going to be a tough hold for the Hotties to try and retain this point for the entire time.
Yeah, SOTG proving that they are very comfortable with the mobility heroes, very comfortable playing away from supports and kind of going out and soloing. They obviously know where all the health packs are. They have very, very good map knowledge to duck into all these little corners and corridors to get away from any damage that they don't need to take unnecessarily, and going kind of less mobile actually on the offense here than I thought they would. We've got Light still going to be on the ball, but Huntsman going to go on the Zarya, so no doubt going to be bubbling that ball as they jump in. Trippy going to pick up the Widow, and we got a few changes on the Hotties as well. A couple heroes you don't see very often. What do you think of these picks?
Yeah, I mean, I was gonna. We haven't really talked about Wu Yang yet because it hasn't really come out. But this hero has, for supports, currently has the highest win rate in the game. I don't know if you guys know this. Extremely strong pick, but is very good for dive. Specifically, is usually, especially with that ult as well, it's usually really good to back up dive. So maybe looking to try and play on the hazard here for Saudi. And utilize that combo, and they're just going uber defensive, and I think they have to. The Tor as well, that turret's instantly taken out though by the Widow, playing this kind of Mei Tor, and good first pick off. We love to see that. The Venture goes down, and Saudi on this hazard is going to try and be a menace.
Yeah, and we got Light on the ball over here, just kind of poking in the back line, dropping in, trying to create a little bit of chaos, get people to focus on him so that the team can come in behind him. And he picks up a couple eliminations there. The team follows in, and this looks like it's probably going to be it as SOTG gets it together. They get that little rally early, Rain on the ropes. And yeah, man, SOTG takes this second map, and that gives them the match, actually. Huge. Wow, very good plays by SOTG, and the Hotties doing everything they could to respond, just couldn't find the answer tonight.
Yeah, shout out to the Observer as well for that one, showing us exactly the way that this comp is played. The ball getting in that backside of the site, pulling everybody off, and you saw them, the Hotties, all four of them turned to try and deal with the ball, and then suddenly no one is touching this Widow, and the Widow is just completely free then to get multiple pickoffs, and then they snowball the fight off the back of it. So lesson for you all out there, if you want to play a ball comp, that is how you do it. Play distraction, make them all look at you, make them so annoyed with you that they have to turn on you, and then the rest of your team can follow up. But yeah, a bit of a clinic there from SOTG.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, well played games by everybody there, honestly. I mean, the Hotties, we know they're a good team. We saw them play in that first round, and they were really coming out in hammer, and it just didn't have an answer for SOTG tonight. It'll be exciting to see how well SOTG does moving forward into the next matches, and see if somebody can give them an answer for just the chaos strategy that they were playing. Just the absolute chaos strategy. I haven't really seen it played that effectively in a while, and kind of interesting to see a fun dynamic to try to follow with just all that going on, and being a player on the ground going up against that. That's a tough ask any day. Did you have a favorite play or anything that you saw during that you really liked that you want to hone in on?
No, just shout out for jumping themselves off the map. I think try to give them a shot at that Doomfist on Li Zhang. But no, I mean it was a pretty difficult wash of a game, and yeah, just that chaos. And I think we talked a lot about the ball specifically, but yeah, just really good team coordination. The Genji silently just racking up those kills time and time again. We talked about how scary a good Genji can be, and yeah, this is a terrifying team. So
Yeah. I mean, you said it right. Terrifying team is a good way to put it. We'll see if somebody has an answer for him moving in. Players are getting ready for the next match here in the semifinals. So we've got another one coming at you very, very soon. We'll see how. I don't really know what to expect. We've seen 2 totally different matches, I guess, right now. You know, the very first match of the night was long. It was very even, very, you know, there was no team at any time that you were like, oh, that team has the major advantage here. They're who I'm going to put all my money on if we're going to Vegas. You know what I mean? And then this last match was a little bit more one-sided. And so who knows what's going to come up? Do you have any predictions? Anything that you think we're going to see? What kind of comps? Because we've kind of been all over the place so far.
I mean, this is what you get, right? And I think maybe there's a light at the end of the tunnel here saying we've shown you a little bit of everything so far, right? You know, we've had a crazy close series and a little bit of a one-sided stomp. So I think for me, I'm here to watch some good games. So I would love to see some spicy picks thrown in there. You know, some heroes that maybe we don't see very often and piloted by some really good players. I don't really have any predictions at this point because you know, it could really kind of go either way. But yeah, give us some more chaos. Give us some spicy picks. I think that's what I'm looking for.
Yeah, it has been unpredictable. Usually you can see the first couple team fights and kind of know what's going to happen, where things are going to go, you know, tough.
I'd love to see some more Wu Yang.
More Wu Yang, yeah.
Yeah, I want to see more of this new hero. I don't know if you guys have been playing Overwatch the last kind of week or so. This hero is disgusting and is so strong right now. It's like one of the best like dive supports to go along with these kind of dive tanks and stuff as well. So I'd love to see more from this hero. For any of you watching the WCS as well, there's been some great plays there with this hero. So yeah, if I have a wish list, that would be it.
Some more Wu Yang is I love a good Winston. You know, we don't see a lot of Winston these days, but I love a good banana boy. You know, let's get him out there, give him some playtime, give him some screen time, jump on some people, give him a little shock, give him a little tickle. You know, create a little chaos in the back line. I know that we do have some interesting tank players coming up. I know we got another Doomfist main coming up, I think, in this next match as well. So we'll see how if they're able to capitalize on that type of chaotic gameplay as well, moving into this. But we're definitely going to have some exciting matches coming for you guys, and I think they're almost ready here to get this one going.
Yeah, and I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe the next matchup is going to be between Sally SeaShells and High Anxiety.
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, and
here we go to get into it.
Oh, and Sally, the band's coming in immediately. Sally gonna ban Doomfist, which is interesting because Benji was that Doomfist player I was just kind of mentioning too. The bands are backwards there. So
that
it looks
makes
like
way more sense.
Yeah. So okay. So High Anxiety gonna ban the Doomfist, and then Sally gonna ban Lucio. So I guess High Anxiety not wanting Benji, but that does give me my wish, and we get a little Winston gameplay.
Yeah, exactly. Like, straight in. You asked for it, and they shall deliver. And we also have the Genji coming out here for Night on Sally SeaShells, and the Life Weaver is kind of interesting to me.
Yeah, it could be a very interesting pick to see how the flower relates. I mean, maybe they just want to look over these tall walls once they, you know, pop that ult. We've got our first Reinhardt. Got our first Reinhardt as well coming in, and a Juno. We had a quick Juno pick earlier in one of the first matches, but we didn't see a whole lot before they switched off. So a couple different character picks going into this, and we got our first real team fight. A lot of poke going on. Winston, Dingy gonna dive in, and he's absolutely melted by Soldier there. And Fox goes down as well for Sally. It's going to be tough. Ryan pushing out, trying to get a couple more eliminations. Does. And it looks like Sally kind of on their heels here. Don't want to stagger too much as High Anxiety pushing them right back into spawn.
Yeah, I quite like the hazard here. The walls can be super useful, and we saw it there kind of blocking off one side of access to this point. But yeah, we haven't really... I expected a lot more Rhine, to be honest, especially in this very kind of brawl-heavy comps. So I'm glad to see that come out now, and we'll see how effective it is as High Anxiety are pushing very far forward.
Yeah, they are making some moves here, keeping them back in spawn. Benji goes down, trying to make something happen in the backline. Good sleep there on Rhine. Not really able to capitalize and do much damage on it as the team kind of comes in and covers for him. We do lose Rock On. Was on Junker Queen and went down, but it looks like High Anxiety is still gonna pretty handily hold this point right now. May have spoke too soon though, as Sally picks up a couple eliminations there. Forehead kiss Tamashi, Velvet, and Take for Granted all go down. Sally coming in, or as soon as I spoke, maybe the caster's curse, who knows? As soon as I spoke, Sally absolutely comes back and says, nah, they're not gonna keep that point.
On a big hammer down, but goes down immediately. That was, I mean, perfectly timed. It could have been big, but immediately goes down afterwards. And yeah, let's call out the Genji. You know, we talked about how scary Genji can be in the last series, and it looks like Knight's willing to put on a show with Genji this time around as well.
Yeah,
and that work with.
Something that kind of rhymes with Genji. We got to pull. Will Benji be his arch enemy of gravity? 100% of chat said no. So we are expecting to see Benji.
Oh, and there's a triple.
Big sword by Genji there. Comes in and gets a quadruple out of it. And then Forehead Kiss just going to jump off and not stagger there. Night Dog with the massive Genji ult.
Yeah, huge. Huge ult there. And I think Forehead just goes, do you know what? I'm just going to reset. I'm out. I don't want to die to this as well. But yeah, we just highlighted them, right? We highlighted Nighty Dog just then, and huge ultimate coming out as we see Win kind of putting on the pressure, just bullying these backliners and making it really difficult for them to coordinate with the team. While Hazard just holds his front line.
Vinci does able to pick up an elimination on the Ana there as the team kind of scattered in, trying to push in, make something happen in this small little area. It's a tough area to fight a Rhine, but they're able to take advantage of it. Knight coming in as well. It gets a nice deflection kill on the Rhine, and Hunter taking down Timoshi. Sally struggled in that first team fight, but they've come back and really shown that, hey, we can hold this point, and they might take this round.
Yeah, I think this is where the Hazard is coming in really effective, because it's making it so difficult for them to push through it and contest. That's a huge shadow though. Gets, I think, 4 of them in that, and that might be exactly what they need to get on the point. The sleep goes out, but if they can push this forward, they might be able to recap the point. It looks like that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, massive shatter. I don't think they got a lot of eliminations off it, but it was definitely a stagger. Gave the team time to breathe and push out to try to make something happen. As High Anxiety does flood the point there, Sally has to get pushed off and reset here for this team fight. They could still have plenty of time to come back and do something, but that shatter really set High Anxiety up for success on that push.
Yeah, and we talk, you know, I think sometimes you underestimate the value of not getting the eliminations, but just sitting them down, or in a Shatter's case, lying them down. And it allows the rest of the team to then gather up and take the point off the back of that. And sometimes you don't need to get a team wipe to be just as effective.
Yeah, just giving them a break, giving them a pause, you know, it goes a long way. But High Anxiety wasting no time, rushing right back in. We got a Genji ult. Nighty Dog goes down. Doesn't really get a whole lot out of that ult. Huge answer by High Anxiety to keep them off the point. Wow, did not see that coming. High Anxiety going to take the first round.
Massive kill from Timoshi there. Like, denying the blade with that Helix rocket was huge, and then it allows the Rhine to kind of clean up off the back of it. And this is, you know, on these kind of small points like we see, you know, it can be so difficult to play into a Rhine when they can just free swing like that. So huge shutdown, because Nighty Dog could have completely popped off there with that, and it gives him the first point.
Yeah, we saw him do it earlier with the 4-piece, I believe he picked up with the blade, and was trying to get the second coming right there. And yeah, good heads up play by Timoshi to really target him down and make sure that his team had a chance there in that last one. So looks like we got a pretty similar comps going out. Really no changes. I think the Sojourn is a little change there. Oh, we got Benji actually going to switch over to, I'm going to swap over to Tracer here. Plenty of time to still fall off the map if you know, so desired. So the poll could still be right. We'll see how it goes. We're getting this first little team fight here. Sojourn, ooh, nice Suzu gets saved there. Unfortunately goes down right after. Benji goes down as well. It looks like High Anxiety going to have this first team fight here as Sally is on their heels again, getting pushed back in spawn across the bridge. And yeah, High Anxiety going to take the first point.
Yeah, this Ryan's causing them a lot of problems, but I wanted to talk about the Juno picks here on either side. Both of them rocking this Juno, and with the recent changes, I think Juno is actually, like, the healing output is actually absurd. And I think one of the things that people don't value and really should is how good movement speed is in a game like this. And that's so much value from this hero. So just wanted to, shout that out and be watchful for those Junos, because they could definitely be the difference makers with some big old timings.
Yeah, Juno can be very strong in the right hands, absolutely. I did want to point out as well that this is 6v6, and so the standard composition for 6v6 is 2-2-2. But Sally gonna change it up a little bit. They're just gonna go 1 tank, 2 DPS, 3 supports here, and so far it hasn't worked out super well for them. We'll see if they keep it going forward or not. That extra damage soak with not having the tank, it could prove to be troublesome coming in here, as they do get almost team killed there again by High Anxiety.
Yeah, I quite like the idea. Thank you for drawing attention to that, because I hadn't talked about that yet. I do quite like the idea if you're going to run a very, I'm going to use the term like hyper carry tank. If you've got this very meat shield tank that can just sit up front, like this Orisa, and deal out damage as well as just the soak, right? So I don't mind the idea, but they are struggling a little bit in this second point to get the value out of the solo tank, as we see Hunter going down again.
Yeah, that's tough for Hunter. But all the damage coming right at her. Like, it's tough one on Orisa when you are the main target there. Benji did swap back over to Winston, though. A nice anti, trying to get something happen. The double shield on High Anxiety makes it really, really tough to get those eliminations, especially in the background there, as High Anxiety just shoveling them back towards their spawn. Nighty Dog comes off, though. He's got the blade. He picks up a couple eliminations. We'll see if he's able to grab another one. He's got a 1v2 on point. I don't know that this is the fight that they were looking for.
Might be able to get them up.
We'll
it's
see how
so
it goes.
hard with these heroes specifically, though. The soldier could drop that biotic field and stay alive, and the Orisa is going to be a hard one, a 1v1 in that sitch. So huge play, but just could not finish it off. As it does stall it out, though.
Yeah, it does stall. It stalled it out long enough for the team to actually come in and capture it. High Anxiety, though, looks like they're gonna capture it right back. But Sally on the board for the first time in this map here.
Yeah, but a huge ult coming out from Rocco Nico to finish that team fight off, and it's all in the favor of High Anxiety right now. This is gonna have to be a hell of a comeback, and I'm not even sure they're gonna be able to walk it in here, as High Anxiety take it 2-0.
And unexpected there. We've seen several of the players on Sally in tournaments before, and they've always done very, very well. High Anxiety coming in with all the answers, though, right off. And then here we go with the play of the game. Nighty Dog, just an absolute menace on the Genji and really making the most of these ults.
Yeah, they tried their absolute best. They're all corralled in that corridor. And, that's a dream as a Genji, isn't it? Yeah. Everyone's just in this little corridor. And
line them up, knock them down, right? That's a tough spot to be when a Genji blade goes off. Man, the next map is going to be King's Row. We'll see if Sally SeaShells has, let's say that 5 times fast, right? We'll see if they have a good answer coming in. I swear these people make these teams make their names just to make them hard. It's hard for us to say, right? They're just trying to make it difficult for us out here. But I don't know. There's very few spots for Benji to fall off the map in King's Row, so I don't know that the guys who voted in that poll are going to come out correct. We'll see what happens.
To quote the infamous Jurassic Park, life finds a way. I think it was, I think it was a super interesting experiment for Sally there to kind of run. We talked about the triple support, but I don't think it worked out. So I would like to see them roll back to a more kind of traditional 2-2-2 for this, especially on Kings. They're going to need both of those tanks to either help them defend or push in through these kind of tight chokes and these long sight lines. So I really enjoyed that experiment. I think it was great to see, but I think they're going to need to default back to the 2-2-2 for this one.
Yeah, I really wish we just had 4 tanks, 2 supports. Unfortunately, we're limiting the teams to two tanks per. We can't get 4 Winstons out there.
Anyway.
Yeah, we can't get 4 Winstons out there. It's tough. We can't do 4 Ryans. It would be fun to watch.
The format of this tournament.
It would be fun to watch, but let's see. So last time it looks like High Anxiety going to stick with the double shield. What do you think should be what's a good answer for a double shield in 2025?
I mean, the first thing that comes to my head is obviously Zarya. You know, if you're playing into a double shield, I think it's going to be difficult. I don't think we can see the bans yet as to what they banned out, but oh, here we go. So we got an Anna and the Cassidy. The Anna's a good ban. I like that a lot. And we see the ball being rocked again by a separate team here on High Anxiety. And it's going to be the same principle. They're going to double dive here with the Kiri over the top. We've got the ball. They've settled on the Winston. And I like this idea. Don't try and play this like shield into this choke. Pull them apart, and this is what we're going to see them try and do. We're going to see the ball try and pull them one way. We're going to see the Winston try and pull the other when they come back alive and try and pull apart the defense. But Fox immediately on this Kiri getting a lovely double, and Benji on this Doomfist. There's a reason this hero was banned in game 1, and we're about to see why.
Yeah, Benji absolutely bullying. I want to say it was Velvet Panther got kind of stuck out there, just nowhere to go with a Doomfist and knows what they're doing here. Yeah, definitely like to see the
27 says it all, doesn't it?
Right. I did like to see the last second kind of switches to a more dive compy from High Anxiety. That double shield was probably going to be a little slow on this push here. And they are getting in there and creating some chaos, but I think chaos is kind of where Sally excels when they got what they want. Especially with the mobile tank on Benji, and then they've got the Sigma kind of holding things down. Nighty Dog still rocking on the Genji, and then Dirty Bird picking up that Hanzo, trying to get those long range eliminations and really just kind of tilt the fight before they even get started here.
Yeah, this is definitely on Nighty Dog and Benji to kind of work together on this double dive. But let's talk about Dirty here on this Hanzo. We saw how good this Hanzo pick was in the earlier series of just getting these pickoffs from afar, you know, in these kind of front to back, and the chaos being caused by this front line is Dirty is so free on this Hanzo, and he's getting pickoff after pickoff after pickoff, and it's making it really hard for this dive comp of High Anxiety to get anything done. And I expect to see some switches here as we see them move to the Mei and the Soldier. I'd like to see the tanks as well. Maybe they need to default to a shield comp to try and like soak up this Hanzo at the moment, or at least one.
Yeah, definitely need to find an answer for all the free damage that Hanzo's getting out here. And it looks like maybe they have one. No, Benji kind of gets caught out, but he's able to ult his way out of that and drops right down on the point, not able to get into eliminations. But Timoshi kind of on the ropes, getting pocketed by their mercy. Staying alive, barely staying alive. Benji finally gets the elimination on him, and then also takes down Pepper as well there. High Anxiety probably not going to take this team fight as Sally SeaShells defends the point yet and again.
Yeah, huge shout out to Pepper though. We haven't talked about the supports too much. You know, we big shout out to all you support players, but Pepper did absolutely everything to try and keep Timoshi alive there, but Benji just getting the better of that exchange. And this is kind of a tough answer now for High Anxiety. And there we go. We see the Orisa switch, and I like this a lot more. There goes the Winston ult. They're going to try and create a lot of room to try and allow everyone in, but Nighty Dog on the other side gets a double.
Yeah, Nighty Dog with a big answer there, especially combine that with the Kiriko ult, just absolutely flying with that blade. We did pick up a couple eliminations from High Anxiety, but not enough to turn the tide as Sally holds on again. Benji getting a little forward there, almost pays for it, able to get back in and retreat. Zenyatta, unfortunately, Velvet caught out by Benji and pays for that as he runs back into the team here. Sally just kind of determining the pacing of these fights, and High Anxiety not having any concrete answers as of yet.
No, and I think they're encountering the same problem that we talked about a little with SOTG. There's too many problems to try and peel off the back of, and this is what the Doomfist Genji offers you. This incredibly oppressive double dive to try and manage as the kind of weaker support players with the backline of this Hanzo just peppering you as well. And we see it. They are just getting picked off again and again and again, and a full hold.
Yeah, a full first point pulled by Sally SeaShells there. High Anxiety not able to get out of that choke, and that's a tough choke to get out of. So these do happen quite a bit. But we'll see how they fare on defense. They really have to kind of pull it in together. Any big plays? Any big plays there that you were like that you want to see? That any big? I mean, obviously the Genji was popping off.
Gosh, just
Nighty
Benji
Dog
being
just
a nuisance, isn't it? just Benji being a pain in the backside in this back line. And these poor supports, you know, for high anxiety just could not get anywhere. As soon as they step out, you know, the stun punch, and if they ever put pressure on him, up he goes. And then, yeah, it's so oppressive when you come into such an effective Doomfist player. And then also, you know, shout out to Hunter here as well on the Sigma. Just holding this front side and allowing Benji all of that freedom along with Nighty Dog to jump in the back line.
Yeah, absolutely. I guess that's one thing we haven't really focused on is the target like pick. You know, who do you focus on when you come out? And Sally that round focused on the supports very, very, very well, kept them out of the game. If you keep the healers out of the game, then you can pretty much keep the team out of the game. And we'll see if they can continue that success going on to the second point here. It doesn't look like we're getting a whole lot of changes. Timothy's going to switch over to a Symmetra. We're still keeping
full defense hold. This is a full defense hold. You put the turrets up, you try and use the Mei walls to disrupt and cut them off. Maybe try and wait until that Doomfist dives in and cut off everyone else. And there we go. And this is exactly what I was just about to talk about, but a little off with the charge. You kind of block everyone off, isolate the Doomfist, and try and take him out before he can get the support. So I love the idea from High Anxiety. It's really smart, actually. A really smart way to try and deal with the dive by isolating it. And it's working out. Nighty Dog going down.
Yeah, getting that DPS elimination is big. Nighty Dog has been very, very effective for Sally. And it looks like High Anxiety may have found an answer, at least for a little while here at the double shield. I mean, they're using, like you said, full defense. There's everything that they have is defensive right now. And really trying to limit the amount of damage that comes through that choke from Sally.
Yeah, you have this Ryan to play this corner, and you can see what he's doing. You know, not out in the open. He's going to play this corner and use this shield to make sure they can't just push through the front. And then when they feel pressured and forced to dive past this double shield tank, that's when the Mei wall goes up. There we see it. I love it when I'm right on cue. And then they try and isolate and pick up the targets. But they need to be careful. There's the hammer down. It's a huge one as well.
Massive.
But no one goes down.
Wow.
Really good, Susan. Really good at healing from the supports to keep them up. And oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, Sally turning the tide in their favor, getting the eliminations that they needed to push onto the point. A big ult by Moira there. Gonna go ahead and finish him off. And Sally gonna take this round.
Yeah, great work. Sometimes that's all you need to do in games like this is stall out, play for that ult economy. We talked about it in the last series as well. They wait for the shatter. They go for a big shatter, and it was so close from High Anxiety to get that off, and it nearly paid off. But the support's coming in clutch to Sally to keep them up on that one, and it allows them then with that big ultimate cooldown off, they can then push in off the back of it and win the fight off the back of that Moira ult as well. So huge shout out to the support.
Yeah,
winning that game for Sally.
Yeah, the unsung heroes, right? Support's not real flashy, but without them, you're not getting very far. That's for sure. Some fun plays though, all the way around through that match. I mean, Genji, absolutely insane. Nighty Dog just, I don't know if he's Genji main or not, but maybe you should look into it. We'll see how he fares in going into these future rounds as well, if he's able to keep that momentum up. And then, I mean, just the chaos. I'm interested to see what would happen if SOTG and Sally went against each other, because they're both kind of leaning into that chaos style. SOTG a little more so than Sally was. But going forward, it's going to be interesting to see those two teams kind of clash if they get to play each other.
If I'm honest, if those two teams get to play each other, I think we just don't cast. I think we just let the chaos reign, you know, and just let it all play out. It's going to be a mess. I think in this one, particularly going into Suravasa here for the third map, we talked about it in the first series. Love the fact that we're going all the way, by the way. But this is very much a map that favors mobility and high mobility. So picks like Genji and the Doomfist, they're just going to excel even more. So I think this definitely plays into the advantage of Sally's team here, obviously with the Genji player and the Doomfist player. So we'll see if High Anxiety choose to match that, if they try and play something like a Winston comp to try and keep up with them with this high mobility, or whether they try and play the points a bit more.
Yeah, looks like picks are coming in here very soon. For everybody who's unfamiliar, Suravasa is a flashpoint map, so there are going to be multiple points throughout the map that the teams have to hold, and it's the first team to capture 3 of those points will take the round. And so this is our tiebreaker round going in here, as each team has one a map individually. So whoever wins this map here is going to be moving on to the next round of the tournament. Team comps are coming in. Nothing unexpected coming out of Sally here. We got Benji on Doomfist. Nighty Dog actually switching over to support, and maybe just as the lulz right now. We'll see if they
I think
he switches it back over to Genji.
Yeah, well, I think it's because of the Genji ban from High Anxiety. So really good identification from them. They understand that it's going to be a hyper mobility kind of map. And in case any of you are wondering why this is so good for high mobility heroes, it comes down a lot to like the macro of how you play these points. You know, if you don't have the economy to kind of take the fight and you know it's already lost, you need to be able to get to the next point quick enough to start that going. So just and there's also a lot of room. It's a bigger map and a lot of angles that you can come in on. So I love the Genji ban, and then Sally banning the Rhine as well. But Benji is gonna sit on this Doomfist as we see the triple support coming out. And I think this, they're just gonna let the 2 tanks here do all of the work, and they're just gonna sit and back them up and let them dive in their faces.
Yeah, just dive and shine, I guess, right? Keep them supported, keep them healthy if you can. It looks like Sally gonna win that first team fight, gonna get some early percentage docked up on this point here as High Anxiety, you know, maybe needs to find a little bit of an answer. They're not able to do their double shield here. I mean, you got Rocco doing the ball, which can be really annoying. But Sally so far been able to counter it pretty well. Especially, I mean, those Discord orbs, when you get a Discord orb on a ball, they just get absolutely melted. So if they make that a focus here, it's going to be certainly tough for Rocco to get anything really major going here, especially diving in on the point kind of alone, trying to make something happen, trying to rope onto the middle and start spinning, not able to get a whole lot done. Rocco getting melted, but getting supported really well. Dirty Bird gets picked from Sally, so High Anxiety does have the advantage now on this fight, but we got the Zen ult going off to keep Sally in the game. And not going to be enough. Rocco gets the mines out, and they get a couple eliminations. Timishi going to take down a Nighty Dog. Benji coming down with an ult, taking out Lucio. I think it's going to be too little too late, though. Might just want to get out of this fight, and I think High Anxiety is just going to hold that.
Yeah, I want to point out Forehead Kiss here because I think there is such a good identification of what is going to happen. They target in and they zone in on Dirty on the Hanzo. They're going to run this triple support with the double dive tanks, and you know that means, and here we wait, there's a Blossom, but they get taken out, kind of cancelled in the middle. But I think if they're going to dive forward with these dive tanks, it leaves this Hanzo vulnerable. So I love the idea of going for that. And this could be a huge Orisa roll.
Almost sucked him in, but couldn't finish it. Unfortunate, but able to zone him out and keep him out of the fray for a second there. But we got a Kiriko ult coming in. Double Kiriko ults. They're going to counter each other here. Ooh. We just got high octane, high speed fighting going on right now. Timishi gets up a couple eliminations. Gets the 3rd elimination. Got a Discord orb on him as well, and still slaying out. Finally goes down. Forehead Kiss able to come in and mop it up. High Anxiety going to defend this point a second time.
And we haven't talked about this from High Anxiety. This is becoming pretty common, the triple support. We've got the Lucio, Juno, and Kiri all backing up this solo tank. So they're kind of defaulting to let Timishi be this just menace on this Orisa, and we're just going to keep them alive. And it worked out really well.
Yeah, so they've dropped the DPS. They still have the Rocco on the ball here, and Timishi on Orisa. They've dropped the DPS, just letting Forehead Kiss do what they do on these close little corners and maps. And Rocco does pay the price there. He goes down, and we've got Dirty trying to chase down the Juno. Almost able to get Velvet out of the game, but not able to get that last shot on. Timishi kind of pushing in, trying to keep him back here, and it's done. That first point goes to High Anxiety.
Big mines.
Big.
That's a great timing from the Tranquility, though. Does still get one. And this is a balls playground right now. Rocco can do so much work here if he can stay up. And again,
right on point. Oh, it takes down Nighty Dog. Rocco following it up. Burning Hair goes down. Dirty Bird goes down. Hunter Kyo goes down. High Anxiety racking up the eliminations on point here. Benji doing everything he can to get out. Doesn't make it. Fox, I think, went down a little bit earlier. High Anxiety, man, a good comeback on that point.
I'm going to try and run through this super fast because this is so smart and I love what they're doing. If you look at the way that they're targeting, they are focusing so hard on Dirty, understanding that they're a lot of the damage. And it's switched up now as Nighty Dog goes onto the Soldier, but they identified that Hanzo was an issue. So they focus in on him. You can see the Orisa doing the same. And these tanks are so free. His forehead kiss goes in, gets a lovely double with the Blossom, and that's going to be enough to keep the point going in their favor. But I just wanted to point out their target selection is fantastic on High Anxiety, and it's what is winning them these fights.
Yeah, identifying the issue and then tackling it is, and working together as a team to accomplish that has obviously paid off very well for High Anxiety. We'll see if they can keep that momentum up as Sally makes a couple little changes here, moving in, seeing if they can get an answer and go ahead and get on the point here. We got a little bit of a poke from Benji. He has to double tank. Nice hit into the wall. Takes down Lucio, gonna ult on point. Nice, get some damage in. Combine that with the ice crystals there to freeze them in place. Lots of damage went down on High Anxiety right there. I think Sally's gonna actually able to come in here and capture this. They still have to get it all the way up to 100%, but able to come in at the last second and make something happen.
Yeah, that was absolutely filthy from Benji. And I think this is where the more traditional 2-2-2 kind of favors Sally SeaShells here. And we see the immediate change in how it's played out for them. It allows Benji so much more freedom to kind of make these plays. Whereas before they were just kind of ignoring him and just kind of moving past him and dealing with everybody else. And it was working really well for High Anxiety as we see another big contest here. Kirill down on point.
A lot of back and forth. Fox goes down, Dirty Bird goes down, Rocco's Modern Life out here hitting them with the hamster ball. I'm very old with that reference. Forehead kiss coming in, taking down Benji as well. Velvet Panther taking down Burning Chair. Timishi gonna go ahead and help finish Hunter Kiro. High Anxiety comes back with an immediate answer to take their second point of 3 on this round.
Yeah, this is so good from High Anxiety. The two tanks here, Timishi and Rocco, are doing so much work at dealing with this kind of very dive-heavy comp that Sally SeaShells are kind of running. Understandably, you know, it's perfectly reasonable why they're doing it, but this ball is creating so much chaos. And we talked about chaos being the name of the game, right? It seems to be working out today for everyone. So I love it. Like, you know, it's making it so difficult for them to get in and do any kind of coordinated attack.
Yeah, and the supports on Rocco are going off right now as well. As soon as Rocco starts taking damage and needs to retreat, the supports are putting him right back into the fight so he can get right back in there and keep that chaos going. We do have a couple eliminations going both ways here. Fairly a pretty even fight. Rocco goes down on High Anxiety. Benji went down on Sally. So we're both down a tank. Hanzo ult comes in. It looks like it's fairly easily oh, it did get 2. Never mind. I was going to say fairly easily avoided until 2 supports took it at the tail end there. Unfortunate for High Anxiety as that gives Sally a huge advantage pushing into this fight. Benji harassing Orisa there, and High Anxiety gonna take this point away.
Him. Yeah, no, huge to get both supports, you know, on that Hanzo ult, and it allows them then to push in on the point. But I want to talk about the way that these kind of dive tanks are playing. Benji is jumping in, and then the ball on the other side is holding the rest of the team back and isolating Benji. That's why he's getting caught out. So I'd like to see Benji maybe look for the timings a bit more and work with the team, as we see Forehead Kiss already getting that pick off on Nighty Dog.
Yeah, High Anxiety coming in really, really hot for this next team fight. Benji gets an elimination there on Take for Granted. They are staying in it a little bit, but I think High Anxiety still has the advantage here. We've got an ult going off as well, pushing Forehead Kisses back. He's able to avoid it mostly, and still kind of a good fight going on, but High Anxiety able to come back with an answer and take that point back from Sally.
Yeah, and this Reaper as well. We haven't talked about Forehead Kiss that much, but this Reaper is a really great pick to just put out so much damage and keep up with the dive. You know, being able to TP and maneuver around and put out that DPS to make it really difficult for these tanks to survive.
Yeah, really trying. You can see he's really trying to get into Benji's face whenever Benji dives the back line, trying to give some peel for the squishies here and just keep Benji away. and it's been reasonably effective so far, but still not quite enough damage. I think coming down on point by High Anxiety. They did actually, take it for granted, did switch off of Lucio back onto Soldier here as I speak, trying to get a little more damage. Benji with a nice punch there. Timishi goes down. Sally, I think, going to come back and able to take this point. They have to. This is a do or die for Sally. They cannot let High Anxiety capture another point.
Yeah, exactly. This is do or die time, right? It's 2 points. It's 99%. It's now or never. So Sally's really got to bring everything, and they don't have any ults to work with. The Pop Blossom, the Blossom here, Death Blossom from Forehead Kiss is going to be massive. This could be absolutely game defining.
There
Here it goes! Gets the
Oh.
triple. As I call it out, he gets the triple off the back.
High Anxiety came in. They knew what they were doing. They knew they had the ult advantage. Forehead Kiss making the most of it. However, Sally's still putting up a little bit of a fight. Not able to overcome High Anxiety's just a full offensive onslaught there. High Anxiety takes their third and final point, and they have won the match.
Take a bow, Forehead Kiss. We were talking a lot about the tanks in that one, but my word, did that Reaper come up clutch. Game winning. There's nothing short of absolutely game winning with that one.
Yeah,
Huge
that was
plays.
the right ult at the right time when they needed it, and it really made the most of it. Took down 3 squishies there. We did get a Benji play of the game here. Yeah, right there on point. Great work with the hazard there to lock those players in and make most of that play of the game. But man, Forehead Kiss with that final ult right there, just really, really what High Anxiety needed to just send it home.
And that means that we are going to believe that's high anxiety moving forward.
Yep, High Anxiety going to be moving forward.
Around on that one.
SOTG moving forward. And I believe those will be our final 2 teams.
Yeah, and this is going to be a spicy game.
It's
SOTG looked incredibly dominant, so we haven't seen them be tested yet. But High Anxiety showing amazing adaptation. So the clash of those 2 things could make this a really great final series.
Yeah, High Anxiety, yeah, they did a lot of changes. We'll see if they have an answer for just the absolute chaos that SOTG seems to thrive in. And that's really, it's a lot up in the air right now. There was a lot of, you know, a lot of good plays on both sides there. High Anxiety versus Sally SeaShells. Good adaptation, like you said, moving back and forth, making the changes they needed to make, and then really capitalizing on those clutch moments, as we saw there with Forehead Kiss and that Reaper ult to really put the nail in the coffin there. So it'll be interesting to see how these 2 teams fare once they go against each other. But that's going to be it with the semifinals coming to a close. Our teams will be taking a short break. They're going to strategize, and we'll be moving into the Dragonblade Arena League 6v6 edition finals here shortly. Nick, we have had some amazing gameplay tonight. What do you think? You have a prediction for this final match?
Man, if SOTG look as good as they did in the first series, I think they're going to take it. But I really hope High Anxiety give them a run for their money. I want to see them pushed a little bit.
Yeah.
So I think I'm leaning towards SOTG, just given how dominant they looked. But I'm hoping for High Anxiety to show up for sure. And I guess, yeah, we'll talk about all of the picks and stuff in a bit, but it looks like we've got some new people here today that might not have seen this before. So would you mind giving them a quick rundown of what we're doing and what the Dragonblade Arena League is?
Yeah, so for those of you joining us during our break, welcome to the Dragonblade Arena League 6v6 edition. My name is Slevin. I'm your play-by-play caster this evening, and in the booth with me today and my co-caster and game analyst, simply Nickish. Now, if you're new here, the Dragonblade Arena League 6v6 edition is a single elimination league where our teams tonight have been battling across 3 pre-selected maps. Before each round begins, every team will also choose 1 hero to ban from play. And with tonight's qualifier on the line, and these teams aren't just fighting for bragging rights, they're chasing the chance to compete at DreamHack Atlanta this October for a cash prize. Now, before we get into the next match, let's quickly recap the map pool and the scoring system one last time so you all know exactly what's going on. The first map in tonight's rotation is Lijiang Tower. Now, this is a control map where teams will fight to hold the center point in a King of the Hill style game mode. The first team to reach 100% on the objective will be declared the winner of that round. Second in the rotation is King's Row, an old school fan favorite. Now, this is a hybrid map where in the first round, teams will attempt to capture a control point and then escort a payload through up to 2 additional objectives. The team who pushes the payload the furthest will be declared the winner of that match. In the event of a 1-to-1 tie, the tiebreaker in our rotation is Suravasa. Now, this is a flashpoint map where teams will battle to capture a series of control points. Each time a point is secured, another will unlock. The first team to capture 3 objectives will be declared the winner. Before we start setting up the final match, I would like to take a second and thank our incredible staff here at KTN. These tournaments would not be possible without you. To everyone in chat, please go show our staff team, our ambassadors, our KTN partners, everybody involved with making this production run. Go show them some support. You can find them down in the panels below. To those of you who are interested in competing in future tournaments, maybe this awakens something in you and you want to get out there on the next one, head over to our website, kicktournamentnetwork.com. You can find all of our socials, the event scoreboards, KTN merch, and all of our upcoming tournaments. I do want to highlight that anybody of any skill level can participate in these tournaments. You don't have to be a GM. You don't have to just be a bronze. Anybody in between is welcome to come and compete. So if you see a tournament coming up for a game you like, go ahead and sign up, put a team together, and come out and play. Nick, can you go through scoring a little bit for the newcomers?
Yeah, just to explain very quickly for you guys, the scoring is based on the integrated systems of the game mode. So it's not done. It's done by match, not by like individual rounds scored within the game itself. So it's a best of 3. So it'll be whoever wins the match in its entirety, not the individual games within the match itself. So while we give our competitors time to set up for the final match, we're going to take a quick break before the finals. So don't go anywhere. And KTN will be right back.
Which one's your favorite? Mine's Tracer. She's like, cheers, love, the cavalry's here.
Before me, I see the future. You know there's more out there, don't you?
Even the best journeys end. But a new one is right around the corner.
He's coming up, he's going for it. He lays out the shatter, he's able to pick up a couple. Double fire strike, picks up 3 eliminations. Is something almost had Zarya. Oh, able to pick up Sidon. That's a huge pick for them. Gonna use some shots on the Doomfist. Bliv goes down. Sao snipers. The Nebi with the pulse bomb takes down Sao and Water Diablo. That is a DPS and a support down from one ult there. And a lot of games get won because simply of a Genji. Oh, there's that play of the game. Benji with the triple knockoff right there, and then picking up Tracer trying to get in there. We've got Sin up. Oh, big shots there on bot man. Let's Shafir with the just rack it and send it. Now we've got a Discord orb on Rhine, and he's gonna pop that ult with a negate the pulse bomb there. Huge play by Zen. User train goes down. Nice job, and then we're gonna demech. Oh my gosh, Benji popping up. Don't challenge him. Don't challenge him. Leave him alone.
Who dares confront me?
A new day is upon us. A new generation built to fight. Together, we are unstoppable. Are you ready?
Slay. Killing spree.
Claim the enemy flag. Return it to base. Ordnance drop inbound. The flag is ours. Please haul ass at your earliest convenience.
It is time to crown our champion of the Dragonblade Arena League DreamHack Qualifier. It's finals time, everyone. Coming to you live exclusively on Kick.com. The viewers are hyped, the players are ready, and now they play for it all.
Back into depth.
Yeah, nice on with a 2-3 blade. Too much to move with here. Big!
Brother!
He's able to take out Big Sully. And here comes
Big ult coming out of Saudi.
And then we're gonna demech. Oh my gosh, Benji popping off. Don't challenge him. Don't challenge him. Leave him alone.
Oh my god, he pops the ultimate annihilation ult. Is 1v1. Fisticuffs mano a mano. Oh my god, takes down Desi. Massive play.
Welcome to Kick Tournament Network. My name is Slevin, your play-by-play caster this evening, and we are launching right into the Dragonblade Arena League 6v6 edition Grand Finals. Now, this is the last match. This is for all the marbles. We have SOTG, who came out and showed a dominant force in their earlier qualifier match, and they are going to be going up against High Anxiety, who just played in that last match. Predictions, Nick, what do you think going on? What's going through your head right now?
I mean, it'd be silly not to score SOTG here, given how they played on this map in the first series. But I'm hoping High Anxiety, give them a run for their money. But I'm definitely going with SOTG here. And let's have a look at the bans going in. The Wrecking Ball ban is awesome. We've got players on both sides of the coin who love this hero. So love that ban, especially on Li Zhang. We saw how effective that was before, and it's going to force them to run a bit of adaptation, something we haven't seen from SOTG yet, or something they haven't been forced to do. And then High Anxiety banning that Tracer. We've seen how strong Tracer is in general. One of the best DPS in the game right now. So let's see moving into this as we're a bit more of a dive with Huntsman on that Hazard for the tanks. And a Forehead Kiss running with that Rhine. Gonna get this early positioning and try and hold it out.
Yeah, High Anxiety immediately moving onto the point, kind of using that shield to block their path as they do. C3 gets the first elimination on Timoshi goes down. That is going to leave High Anxiety on the ropes a little bit. And then, oh my gosh, SOTG just snowballing through. High Anxiety off the point. Barako going to jump off so he doesn't stagger there. And SOTG pretty handedly took that first fight.
I mean, it's just so fast and it's so well coordinated. PJ with a boop off the map as well, just for extra flavor. But the way SOTG play together is just insane. And it's so hard to deal with. This is why they're kind of the favorites coming into this. And the pressure is all on High Anxiety here to find the answer.
Oh my God, Forehead Kiss dropped his shield for 1.1 seconds and just got absolutely melted. The target acquisition by SOTG, I mean, they are all focusing in. Whoever is their game lead, making all their call outs, their captain is on point, and everybody else is just falling in line and doing exactly what they need to.
Can we just get a PC check on every single member of SOTG? Because they're just outrageous. As High Anxiety trying to, I mean, what can you say? C3 going absolutely bananas. Like as soon as they appear within the vicinity, they get rolled. And can we talk about PJ here on this Lucio? Just in the right place at the right time, and just getting all of these elims and cleaning up these kills. I don't know whether it's kill stealing at this point, but just insane work from SOTG.
Yeah, their cohesion as a team is fantastic. A good media there by Rocco. It gets a knockdown, but not able to really get a whole lot out of it. Does push SOTG back off the gate a little bit here. High Anxiety gets caught out. It looks like Velvet and Timoshi both kind of got caught out. Forehead Kiss kind of came in there, tried to save him, not able to do it. Light Motive on just coming in on Maga and making plays, pushing people back. High Anxiety not quite finding an answer to SOTG like we had hoped to see. We'll see if they're able to adapt and make something happen. But they got to make it real quick. Gets point.
Yeah, and I think this is that's a great cancel there to give them at least the kill on Light Motive at the end. But this is what teams like SOTG force you to do. When you're under the gun and when you're under the pressure, you feel like you have to make the plays, which then often leads to more mispositioning, more being caught out, and then like not being as disciplined as a cohesive unit, right? And it's so normal and so natural because you feel like you have to do something. You have to try and find a way through to win when you're facing up against such a coordinated team like this.
Yeah, it definitely puts the pressure on, and you know, some people will actually rise up and they'll play better with that pressure, and sometimes it's just too much to deal with. And so far, SOTG pretty handedly handled both of their fights that we've seen up until now. Trippy showing you some junk rack mechanics as he jumps around the edge with those double mine placements. SOTG just incredibly, it seems incredibly comfortable with all their hero selections, how they play. They know what everybody's doing. It's almost like it's just all intuition. They're just playing by intuition right now. So these people have obviously played together quite a bit, and I mean, look at this right now. Man. Just High Anxiety does not have an answer. SOTG, once they get that first elimination or that first person gets caught out, I mean, the whole team just collapses and it's just bang, 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 knocking them down like bowling pins.
Yeah, and this is definitely, this is definitely when you see players who play a lot together. You're so right to call out instinct, right? A lot of these plays become instinctual because you know how each other is going to want to play, and you know what your role is within the team, right? So everyone, instead of not knowing whether, let's say, your support is going to be there to back you up, they can make those plays knowing that they're there, right? And knowing that your team is going to be there to back you up. So they just play with full confidence, and it shows.
Yeah, absolutely. And these, I mean, setting up flanks in the spawn right here, taking the Timoshi off the ledge, like, I mean, off of the bloom, like, just absolutely insane. And the coordination, like, you know, I feel like we're harping on the coordination. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but this level of coordination is so impressive to see.
Yeah, and it's I really did want to see High Anxiety try and find ways to adapt, because they did that so well in the last series, but there's only so much adaptation you can do when a team look this good. So let's see if they can use some ults to get back in here.
Oh, forehead kiss goes down off the edge of the map there. We do have a couple eliminations in SOTG as Trimpy and Huntsman both go down. But it looks like, yeah, the rest of SOTG able to stand up and get another team kill. High Anxiety, just they're making changes. They're trying to make some things happen. But SOTG just has an answer for every single thing that they throw at them.
Okay, we need to talk about C3E here. This player is an absolute monster. Like I don't think this is some incredibly top tier DPS play for any of you who maybe don't watch a lot of Overwatch. This is a demon player to watch if you want to know how to do it.
Yeah, the accuracy, the target priority is huge, right? They're taking out the people that are low. They're focusing down people as a team. They're not each just taking their own little fights individually and hoping for the best. Like, they are focusing as a team, and C3 is a big part of a lot of that damage coming out, as you can see here, as of the play of the game. Yeah, just going into turret mode and just so mobile, getting the backup, shooting people off the blossom. I mean, just absolutely insane. Then immediately switches back to the rifle and picks up a couple more assists and eliminations. But you see, like, he comes in from the side there, and then the rest of the team, as soon as they start seeing those health bars go down, the rest of the team just starts snowballing, and they snowball so well and they collapse so well together, and they consistently back each other up, that there's just really no room for error if you're playing against that.
No, that's a really good way to like look at it, is when a team plays like that, it leaves no room for error. And that's the big thing. You have to play nearly perfectly to try and deal with it. And target selection as well is something that doesn't often get talked about as much as a skill in these kind of games. But it wins you the games. It wins or loses the games depending on who you are targeting and who you're taking out first. And obviously we see a lot of the times that that's the supports first. And that's something that I think SOTG are showing us in force, is how to do that the right way.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I would love to be a fly on a wall in their voice comms right now, because whoever their shot caller is on point. If they even have a shot caller, I mean, it could just be one of those teams that's just crazy. Yeah, crazy. So like,
whoever the shot caller
is,
they need to be in a tier 1 team. It's outrageous.
Yeah, it is. There's just I mean, as far as just watching and casting and trying to figure out what's going on, everything is so succinct and everything happens so fast that there is really no time for the other team to breathe. As soon as SOTG decides that they are going to move in and take a fight, it's over 3 seconds later. I mean, I just don't know. I don't know what the answer to that is.
No, and that's the other thing about it as well. It happens so fast. There's no time to adapt or try and play out the fight, because half of the team is already dead half a second after you peeked around the corner, because C3's popped you. You're booped off the map by the Lucio, if not. And then there's a ball in your face. I shouldn't have said it that way. There's a wrecking ball, in your backline as well. So it's just so many problems. And honestly, I wish I could. I really want High Anxiety to show us, a bit more, but it's not their fault. I don't think. This is just. I'm going to expect a bit more of the same here on Kings.
Yeah, I mean, SOTG showing us that they're an unstoppable force so far. We'll see if in the second match here, if High Anxiety has an answer. And now that they kind of know the strategy that SOTG employs, and we'll see if they can make some hero picks and make some coordination and see how they answer for this. They are going to be on attack first, which is going to be tough. We saw SOTG kind of hold their last match in the spawn by the bus, basically, on this map. So we'll see if High Anxiety gives them a little more pressure and keeps them out of their own spawn a little bit. But SOTG coming in with some interesting picks here. What do you think about these?
Yeah, I was going to talk about it. Super spicy. Love seeing the new hero out. We talked about this earlier, right, Wu Zhang? We wanted to see more of this, especially in such accomplished hands, right? And the Brig as well. So they're gonna run a Brig only 0 tank triple quad support lineup. No, 5 supports and 6 supports. Sorry, it's 6 supports.
Full support.
I just kept counting up and kept going. It's a full 6 support strat.
Yeah, this will be
is
interesting.
awesome. I want
never
to see if this works out. And okay, C3 getting a pick off with Kiri. Oh my god, they're actually going to make it work. There's no way, right?
Yeah, a 6 support. I mean, at least they have the heals, right? You can't complain about the heals now. But yeah, PJ going hard with the Zenyatta orbs, absolutely dominating there. Oh,
you can't
my
say
gosh.
GG no heals when everyone has it. You know,
Yeah,
so.
right. Yeah, if anybody's spamming I need healing, then they're in the wrong game.
Okay, I'm not quite sure how to analyze this, if I'm honest, because I don't think I've ever seen this properly in a game. But if there's anyone who can make this work, it's going to be SOTG. So let's see. PJ using that damage from the Zen to get a pick off as well on Tim. And
good anti on Trippy, but immediately eliminated it with washed with the Suzu by Creon there. Keeps him in the fight. SOTG just having fun out there. Clearly, just going with some interesting, meme type composition, and it's working for him. You can just tell these guys obviously play a lot of Overwatch, and they obviously play a lot of Overwatch together because they are very comfortable with a variety of heroes. And High Anxiety kind of playing a little bit chaotic right now on this. It looks like, as the camera moves around a little bit, we've got a lot of people in High Anxiety that are taking kind of individual fights and not focusing down too heavily, as I would like to see on individual targets. But it does look like they may have made it to the point here. Might get this first point captured as SOTG. We'll see if they stick with the 6 support comp or not.
Okay. So they throw the Blizzard out, a bit of a zoning Blizzard to get them off the point, and do manage to cap a little bit, which is great. And they are getting the pick, so I love to see this. Put them back in their place, make them play a normal comp. So I love this from High Anxiety, right? And I was going to talk about, I think what I would have loved to see is a bit, if they're going to play 6 supports, get someone who can burst them down real fast. But Timothy on this Mei, putting in so much work and making it really difficult for these very low HP heroes to be able to stand toe-to-toe, and it works out really well for them. And they get first point off the back of it with plenty of time on the clock.
Yeah, really good first push there for High Anxiety, able to make something happen, make SOTG maybe question their 6 support lineup. Creon able to take down Granite. I'm surprised that High Anxiety, you haven't seen to a Hanzo switch. I feel like a Hanzo would be just an immediate pick right here.
Yeah.
Just for those easy one-shots on all the squishies with no shield defense at all right now. High Anxiety able to get some eliminations here. PJ does have a nice answer to try to keep them away. But High Anxiety getting a lot of free progress right now.
So this is the weakness, if you can even call this a team comp. This is the weakness of a 6 support comp, is that you can just get absolutely ran at. They do have the brig to kind of try and hold a little bit in this front side, but these 2 tanks, Rocco and Forehead, are just going to be so free to run at their faces because they don't have the same peel that they would normally with the tanks. So they're relying purely on healing each other, supporting each other, and their coordination to stay alive. And if there is a team that I would believe could do it, it is going to be SOTG. But we are seeing the weakness.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's really no answer for the big shields here other than just trying to swarm them. It's like a whole bunch of hornets, and they're just trying to. Yeah. If they get enough of them on you, you can't really get out of there as a High Anxiety player. But SOTG. It's such an interesting strategy. I don't really know what to say about it right now, other than we'll see
if just having fun.
They carry it all the way through. Yeah,
I think it's nice to see them just enjoying themselves, and they're clearly just having a blast playing this and showing us something that we've never seen before.
Yeah.
So yeah, this let's just
paying
enjoy.
Off for them.
You know?
It's paying off for them, man. It's just they're like I said, they're just a bunch of little hornets. They're still doing what they did on their other characters though. They're acquiring targets and they're focusing them down as a team, right? You see them collapse really heavily on players that get caught out. And when those players get caught out and get collapsed on, it doesn't matter if you're a tank going up against 3 supports. It's still tough to just deal with all that damage. So SOTG,
they just send the Juno in completely on their own with a Wu Jungle over the top to burst them down, and it worked. Fantastic stuff.
Yeah, this is just fun gameplay right here. SOTG, I mean, just showing us how good their fundamentals are, right? How good they are at working together as a team, targeting the same players and just really capitalizing on that damage and cascading and kind of snowballing down, while also supporting each other from the back. Like it's just
the damage is nothing to shake a stick at from a lot of these heroes as well. Zen, we know, is a bit of a DPS demon anyway. Kiri has a lot of damage when she wants as well. So can Bap, you know, and Wu Zhang. So, you know, they can put out a lot of damage at these heroes. I think the only thing they're lacking is like a true frontline, which I guess is kind of what Brig is semi-filling here as like the pseudo frontline support.
Pseudo tank.
Yeah, pseudo tank frontline support in this situation. But there is a lot of damage for them to throw down. So, you know, you talked about target selection stuff, and if they are getting their target selection right, they can still burst down heroes very easily. And we see C3 doing this, gets a double kill on this BAP, and this is why. As we see PJ just kicking away the Rhine, forcing out the ultimate, and still dies. That is unbelievable kiting from PJ. That is unreal that worked. Forces out the slam.
Well, C3 came in and threw the lamp on PJ and saved him there. And PJ was Ryan almost had him. It's weird to say that Ryan almost had the solo Zenyatta, but C3 came in, and as we were talking about, he got that double pick there. And then that just goes to show you how good their communication has to be, right? Because he got that, was up in the lobby there, up in the hallway rather, looking down, got the double elimination from up there, and then immediately transferred fights, ran down the hallway over and threw the lamp on to PJ to keep him from dying to the Rhine, and then PJ was able to get the kick, make the distance. The Rhine shattered, and C3 was able to clean him up. Like that level of just being there for your team is really impressive to see.
Now what we need is 6 DPS. We have been really treated in this tournament. Let's be honest. We've had really close series. We've had stomps, and now we're getting comps we've never seen. So, I mean, this is what you get here at KTN. You've had a bit of everything in this tournament. So, massive shout out to SOTG for giving us a show as well in this. And let's see if they give us any more spice on this attack side, as we see that high anxiety looking like they're kind of defaulting to attempt to hold this.
Yeah, it looks like SOTG going for a more traditional. We got a Azaria. I know. Azario. We also have a Lucio, so it is a Azario comp, I guess, if you want to put it that way. But Azario Reinhardt comp coming in, and then a little more traditional. We'll see how well High Anxiety can hold this defense there. Good Maywall goes up, tries to isolate Motif. As he was pushed into the hotel, he's kind of getting on the ropes here. See if his team's able to hop in there and save him.
That is unbelievable that he's alive. That is really good isolation. So, like, massive hats off to Timoshai there and the Hazard Rocco. Really good isolation and pretty good cleanup after the fact. And the TP, wow, how they get out with that TP as well.
That was
sliver of HP, but yeah, that's what they need to do, right? They need to try and punish as much as they can using that isolation, but already the pickoffs come in, and point is capped. Or should be capped, but they're going to dive past it, because why not?
Yeah, and then both tanks, so SOTG going to try to make a little flank action here as High Anxiety is setting up for their next defense. And the team is very well spread right now, but man, Huntsman and Light Motive able to make quick work of Rocco there in a 2v1 tank battle, and they're just coming in from behind now. That's how confident the SOTG is in their abilities right now, is both frontliners, both tanks went around and did a flank and left all of their squishies to just ride the cart and got an elimination. No sports, no nothing for the tanks. Took out, got a couple eliminations, and then was able to sandwich High Anxiety. They were so confident in their own abilities and their teammates' abilities, the trust that they put in their teammates there to make that work, that you just don't see that very often. Like, very impressive play.
Yeah, and also just really solid map understanding as well, right? Knowing that you can, that you can fight them on that high ground and then drop down off the back of it as well to pinch them in that kind of scissor maneuvers. We see once again just the cleanup at this point.
Yeah, that was a great shatter by Motif there, but then it was a really good block by Rocco, throwing up the crystals there to prevent the charge, so he didn't really get a whole lot out of it. Unfortunately, just a little too a little too little too late. And SOTG is going to take this map.
Well, they take all of it off the back of that. Just a very, very dominant performance. There's not much more to say about that. I wish I could analyze this a lot more for you guys, but honestly, this is just a really dominant performance from SOTG. Completely outmatched, and I'm looking forward to seeing more of them in the next phases.
Yeah, absolutely. They again, they're fighting for a spot to compete at the DreamHack Atlanta in October. And SOTG definitely showing that they want to go there and they want to compete. So really good fights. I mean, thank you to all of our competitors for coming out and playing. SOTG just putting on an absolute show, making it entertaining, making it fun, and showing that they have what it takes to really stay in the game. So
yeah, I mean,
very impressive play.
Let's say that big shout out to everyone that competed. It was such a pleasure to watch these games. And see, as I said, we got a little bit of everything today, right? We got some stomps, we got some really close games that came down to one team fight. We've had weird strats, and we've had a bit of everything today. So thank you for everyone for competing. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you all. But we have reached the end of our tournament for today, and it's time to crown our victor.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have our victor. Congratulations to SOTG for winning the Dragonblade Arena League 6v6 edition. SOTG, congratulations on your victory, and thank you to all of our competitors for participating in tonight's tournament. To our viewers, if you missed a portion of this tournament or you would like to rewatch a segment, be sure to check out our VOD on our YouTube channel, which will be uploaded tomorrow. Join our Discord, follow us on X, and sign up on the website to stay up to date on all future events. The links are in the channel description below, and the website is kicktournamentnetwork.com. If you want to participate in one of our tournaments, remember, anyone can sign up. You do not have to be a pro player to participate, even though SOTG looking kind of professional out there today. You do not need to be a professional to participate. You might need to be a professional to compete against them. But if you see a tournament that we're hosting and you want to get in there, have some fun, show out for the tournament, absolutely sign up. Anybody can join, and we would love to have you. My name is Slevin, and it was a pleasure casting for you all tonight. Simply Nickish, is there anything you would like to say before signing off this evening?
Yeah, there is. Let's start with, let's take a moment to thank everyone behind the scenes here, the producers, the game masters, all of the KTN staff team that made this tournament and all of our tournaments possible. Once again, thank you to everyone that participated, all of the teams, all of the players. Thank you very much. It was super, super fun to cast all of you, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. Obviously, special thanks to SOTG for one hell of a performance, and thank you for giving us some fun as well. In that, you all played incredible. And just to reiterate as well, if you do want to participate in any of our future tournaments, head over to kicktournamentnetwork.com, where you can find all of the socials, KTN merch, and upcoming tournaments. And it is open to anyone, any skill level. To the community members who supported us with donations and subs, and all the new followers, thank you so much. We appreciate it very much. And I guess we'll do a little a final sign off. I've been Simply Nickish. It's been an absolute pleasure to cast for you as well. I don't know if you if you've got socials you want to quickly shout out. I'm also live stream, so you can follow me. I do a lot of casting in general, so you can follow me on most platforms as Simply Nickish. And for Slevin,
Slevin on Kick and Real Slevin on X. See you guys there. It's been an absolute pleasure casting for this evening. We hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I certainly did. So once again, I'm Slevin, and with Simply Nickish here as your casters. Thank you guys so much for watching KTN. Have a great night.
Have a great